Big Orange fans, you played every snap. You showed your orange. But you're just getting started because it's time for the best post-game fan show in college football.
Let's do this thing. Let's do this thing.
It's time for the Garza Law Firm fifth quarter fan reaction.
Let's do this thing.
The place where the Big Orange universe from all around the world gathers to talk about today's game. Unfiltered, uncensored, and unapologetic. And did we mention commercial free? A show of you, by you, and yep, for you.
Yes! Yes!
The most unique fan experience in sports.
Let's do this thing right now.
And it happens right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Tennessee Volunteers come. They
Get
see.
online at 865-200-5402.
And they conquer.
That's 865-200-5402. Or you can hit us up on Twitter at Tony Basilio.
Come, see, conquer.
Now, here's your host
Come,
of the Garza Law Firm fifth quarter
see,
fan reaction. The man who's
conquer.
been keeping it real for the Vol fans for
Come,
a quarter century.
see,
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tony
conquer.
Basilio.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Tennessee Volunteers victorious today. 493 yards of total offense. 247 through the air for Joey Football, who was pretty darn good in his debut. I mean, you're 100 days on campus, basically, and to go out there and do that is really impressive. As we welcome you into another edition, we're back for another season. It's Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction, the hottest show in the land. And Tennessee today, going fast and getting after it. Now, to our friends over on YouTube, if you want to be featured, you have the opportunity to become a super chatter. And if you super chat, I'll acknowledge you. Let's go to the phones. 865-200-5402. Before we do that, though, shout out to my man Will Heflin, who's in with us first. Brian will be joining us maybe. I don't know if Brian's here today. Matt is at the game. Matt Dixon will be with us. Ewad will check in at some point. C will check in at some point. Our ensemble cast will check in at some point as we celebrate a Tennessee victory. We've got some new sponsors this year, but my man Marcos Garza and your Garza Law Firm back one more year. Don't you dare accept any substitutes. The Garza Law Firm online at garzalaw.com. Several hundred years of experience serving you and serving you better. Serving you and serving you better. And don't you dare accept any other substitutes. The great Marcos Garza and your Garza Law Firm. Let's, without further ado, if you want to get in the hunt and in the mix with us today, you can see us over on YouTube. We are also on Twitter Spaces. We are also over on a myriad of places. Will Heflin, you as a high-level athlete, you're the host of our Garza Law Tennessee Baseball Extra Innings, but you're a college football freak as well. Your thoughts, Will, on a guy that was on campus for 100 days, going out there and performing cleanly like that in that game. Very encouraging, Will. What'd you think?
Yeah, very encouraging. It was clean. Other than the fumble on the one exchange there, it looked like wasn't exactly sure if it was a run or a pass, maybe a miscommunication. But I thought he moved in the pocket really well, really good outside of the pocket. And you know he's going to cut it loose, right? That's been his MO. He's 24 years old. He's been doing this thing. He's going to be who he is, but he did it within the framework of the offense today, which was a good sign. And I know Syracuse isn't great, but you still got to go out there and move the ball. And they did that really well and got the wide receivers and all three backs involved. So from an offensive standpoint, not a whole lot to complain about.
No, not a whole lot at all. In fact, I thought they gave him a very good plan to sort of grow into the game. And I thought it worked out very well for them. So, and I thought it was well done by them. They gave him a chance. Sam Strock today, love the performance of the offensive line. No sacks, clean pocket, low penalties, GBO. Sam, thank you for the super chat. Many happy returns, and I appreciate that. All super chats today we're going to give to our man Ben McKee today. So that's $9.99 in the hopper for the great Ben McKee and his family. So, and Ben, keep fighting, my brother. Keep fighting. We love you. To the phones we go, 865-200-5402. Whether it's DUI defense, criminal defense, personal injury, Social Security, disability, my friends at the Garza Law Firm have you covered, and believe me, they have you covered, and they're going to take great care of you. Honest, trustworthy legal representation. People are going to treat you like family, Brian Kelly. Available 24/7, GarzaLaw.com. Let's go to the phones, and we'll get as many people in here as humanly possible as we welcome our first caller on your TLD Logistics phone line in on a celebratory post-game show as Tennessee wins 45-26. Hello and welcome into our first call. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, Tony? Josh.
Hey,
boy.
Josh. Welcome in.
Thank you. And I don't know if I told you before, prayers up for Ben McKee. And I want to say, Tony, first off, we got ourselves the quarterback. Unlike Pajama Boy, Joey Football can definitely sling the rock. What was your reaction when he threw that deep shot to Braylon Staley, Tony?
Well, I mean, the deal is you just got to hit your fair share of those, you know? Look, I don't expect Joey Football to be, like, great, okay?
Yeah.
But in order for him to be pretty good, he's got to hit his fair share of those. And today,
he does.
And today, you know, he showed you why they kind of like him in their offense. He's got moxie. He's not afraid. He's not afraid to move with the ball. He's not afraid to keep it a little bit and stick his head in there. And I'm going to tell you something that Watson Brown texted me during the game. Watson Brown joins us on Wednesdays during my daily show. We do Wednesdays with Watson, presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats. And Watson said that you could tell that these players have already taken a love, not a liking, but a love to Joey Aguilar. Hey, speak to that if you don't mind. You haven't played sport at a high level. Will Heflin, could you tell the guys on that team are pretty fond of that quarterback? Because it looked like they've got pretty good chemistry with him already.
Yeah, I mean, that's something you can't fake, right? And so just the way they kind of – you can just tell the way they were synced up, and on the field will tell you everything you need to know. But, again, really good signs, and Pajama Boy kind of got me chuckling there from Josh. So nice little jab. We'll see how that goes at 10 o'clock with Utah. But anyways, I tell you the thing about Joey. I know he was on the money on the one to Staley, but the very first one that drew PI was just a hair underthrown. But I tell you what, Tony, this is what I begged Nico and Milton for 2 freaking years. It is okay. It's a good thing to underthrow a deep ball every now and then.
Yep.
You got so many things that can happen with PI, your receiver trying to come back to the ball. If you've got big athletes like Staley and Matthews, you can underthrow it and give them a chance. You know what I mean? I mean, Sam Darnold just bought himself however many more years in the league because he was just feeding Justin Jefferson underthrows all year and letting him be who he is.
You're exactly right, man.
If you overthrow everybody, you've got 0 shot. So on the money, a slight underthrow is not going to kill you every now and then.
Hey,
And
Josh. Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, I want to add some stuff out the door. I don't know if you could look it up or not, Tony. I don't know if it's out there yet or not. What was Joey's completion percentage today? And, Tony, I know we had guys from the defense banged up today, but I'm a little bit concerned about the defense. They kind of look shaky. And great win for the Vols today. And the coal miners struggled against the Toledo Rockets. And good teams win, but great teams cover. GBO.
Go! And great teams get my VIP play of the day. I had a triple play over at VIP play. Easy for me to say. On your TLD Logistics phone line, I had the Vols covering. I had the Vols in the first half line, and I had the Vols over. Winner, winner, winner. I was just very – look, when SEC teams go against these ACC teams, Alabama's doing it right now to Florida State. Hat on hat, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to beat you. Hat on hat. when these Southeastern Conference teams take on these ACC teams, I'm going to beat you, hat on hat. Super Chats will be recognized over on YouTube if you want to check us out there. Tony Basilio, the Tony Basilio Show there. Like and subscribe. We jumped on today at halftime over on a YouTube channel. We jumped on there at halftime of the deal, and it was we had a little halftime fireside chat. I just said I love Tennessee's approach today. I loved the game plan. I loved how they executed it. I love how they came out and were throwing the ball right away with Joey football. You know what I mean? As Will Heflin's with me here. Will, I love their approach with him. They did not kind of let him grow into the game or any of that. They just let him go, man.
Yeah, you can tell there's a different level of comfort for Josh Heupel and company to open it up and run what you want to run and let the offense be what it truly is. I'm trying not to overreact, Tony. I mean, openers are openers. We were talking about it before. They looked really good last year in the opener. But you got to play it and you got to take what you can from it. So it was positive for Joey to get a live action taste of what the offense is going to be like. And you just kind of go from there.
Yeah, I agree. 865-200-5402. Same thing with, kind of overreacting to Tennessee's defensive issues today. I'm not going to overreact to it one way or another. And people are going to say, well, what about the Georgia game? The Georgia game's going to take place in 3 weeks, or in a couple weeks rather. What about the Georgia game? I mean, I get it. We all want to make it about the Georgia game, and everything's about the Georgia game, and I'm appreciating the fact that they pulled that off today, because it's not easy. What Tennessee's staff and football team has been beset with this offseason, it's not easy, and they pulled it off, and they deserve some appreciation for that. Let's go to the phones. He asked about Aguilar. Aguilar finishes 16 for 28, 247 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 57% completion percentage, a 166 rating. Steve Angeli, 23 out of 40, 274 yards, a touchdown, a pick, which is a really nice play by Thielander, peeling back. And by the way, 5 sacks for Tennessee, which is just it's the most sacks they've had in several seasons. So right on. As we get ready to go back to our phones, Tennessee did lose a fumble in the game. And again, you're going to have those things with a guy that's been on your campus for 100 days. Paul Fish, $20 super chat. Thanks for playing hurt, Tony. Love you. Paul Super Apple. Thank you, Paul. You're the man. And I appreciate that. And we'll forward that on to the great Ben McKee. As we go back to our phones, it's Garza Law 5th quarter fan reaction. We are pumped to be with you today. And hey, I just appreciate how hard it is to take a quarterback and to look like that. You're going to have issues with the mesh point. That's going to happen. You're going to have issues overthrowing guys when you're this new to the deal and you don't know your personnel yet. But all in all, for an opener, penalties in the game. Tennessee 765, Syracuse 430. And I thought they were going to get this laying down on the field thing out of the game. Well, they haven't done that at all. That's a bunch of Barbra Streisand. They haven't gotten that out of the game at all.
The tempo was kept the whole game. They didn't throttle it down until very late.
Yep, that's exactly right. To the phones we go. And I'm going to say this out loud because Watson said it to me earlier, and I believe he's right. This Aguilar guy is a better fit for Tennessee's offense than Nico is. And I have people asking me, are you wearing UCLA colors? No, this is a Philadelphia Phillies 1993 World Championship shirt that somebody found for me. Phillies didn't win the World Championship in 1993, but I get to wear a shirt that says they did. It didn't end up in an orphanage in Russia, if you know what I'm saying. Let's go to the phones. 865-200. So I thank Paul X Fish, for giving me some love here and in a super chat. Let's go back to our phones. TLD Logistics phone lines. Hello and welcome in. You're on Garza Law. Fifth quarter, fan reaction. The Vols roll today, 45-26. As Tennessee's backs all looked very, very good in the game. Star Thomas with some excellent running late. Bishop had his moments. Lewis had his moments. Each guy over 4.8 yards per carry. Bishop 7.5. Star Thomas 7.7. And back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Is it me?
It is you. Go right ahead.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, Tony. This is Ike here in Panama City Beach. Long time listener. It's actually my first time calling, so I appreciate you taking my call.
Hey, thank you for being there, Ike. Good to talk to you.
Absolutely, sir. And hey, listen, you guys can say what you want. I'm Wooly on this team. I was thoroughly impressed with Joey's football today. His performance was far exceeding my expectations. And, I'm very excited about this next upcoming season for sure. Not too bad for a old high school offense, too.
Well, yeah, Joel Klatt. Look, the things I love about Heupel's offense you saw today, because, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, did we see Joey Aguilar come close to throwing an interception today? Put the ball in the air 28 times. Do you guys remember a ball being nearly picked off?
There was one, Tony. It was I guess if you're watching the TV and they're going like the right sideline, but I mean it was just a throwaway that didn't quite get there, but it wasn't like super egregious.
Yeah, and so the point is that. As, by the way, Florida State hits a deep pass down inside Alabama's 10-yard line. 7-0 Alabama with the lead. And now Florida State, after a little fake around midfield. That game's flying, by the way. If you want to get in, 865-200-5402. Our game did not fly today. And the laying down on the field just got to stop as Florida State on a quarterback keep. Castellanos takes it in for the touchdown, and it's 7-7 in that game. Let's go back to our phones. Both quarterbacks look pretty good early there. And Arch Manning was brutal today. Now, I don't know if that's Ohio State's defense. I don't know what that was. But, man, he was brutal in that football game, except for some pretty good work late in the fourth quarter. That was a rough watch from a Texas perspective. And look, you just don't know about these teams. We've got to see these quarterbacks play. Tennessee today's got to feel good about themselves. They have got to feel good about themselves after what we witnessed. Hello and welcome into our next call. I don't know if they have to feel great about themselves. I don't know how I feel because Syracuse is not a very good team. And obviously in a couple weeks we get a real measuring stick. But you couldn't have a better opener than what Tennessee just had, unless your defense was locked them down. But look, I mean, you're going to get what you're going to get. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. Hi.
Hey guys, Dave.
Hey Dave, welcome in.
I thought the problems on defense had to do with more Banks than anything. Playing all that zone coverage. I mean, when he was aggressive, we got to the quarterback and blew things up. But he sat back in that zone. I don't know what he was doing. I just don't know what he was doing. I think it was more on him than anything.
What'd you think, Will, in terms of Tennessee inviting and allowing Angeli to get comfortable with what they were doing defensively?
Yeah, when they got after him, it was totally different. But, I mean, they played so many guys on defense today. It's weird, or I guess it's uncommon to say you just got to get healthy when it's week one. But that's really kind of where they're at. Is that's not what the defense will look like later in the season. I hope, and I also it's opening weekend for Tim Banks as well, and there were probably some calls he would change moving forward, but there were some bright spots there as well, and so it's kind of. I'm going to wait to pass too much judgment on the defense just because of those factors.
I love the way Robinson played when he got an opportunity, which is a really indicative of Rodney Garner and the work they've done on that defensive line, because it is truly next man up. They are truly rotating. They truly come at you with numbers. And they overwhelmed Syracuse at times, Dave. Early in the game, they overwhelmed them at times. And you're right, Dave. Tennessee maybe could have bullied them a little more than they did, but it's still a pretty good win. I mean, I'll tell you this. A couple weeks ago, you said if you don't blow this team out, it's not a good sign. Well, Tennessee blew this team out today, but they could have really popped them. You are right. They had them dangling at halftime.
Yeah, I thought Heupel got a little took his foot off the gas in the third quarter big time. When Tennessee got up 38-14, Heupel went into cruise control.
Aguilar had a deal where he went to the tent in the middle of that third quarter, and there was a thought that he had something going on, like with his midsection. There was some speculation out there. And he went to the tent, and, he came back in and performed very well. Look, from my perspective, for a first game, Dave, it's going to be pretty hard to play better than Tennessee played today. And I know there's things on defense to clean up. Yeah, on defense, there's things to clean up. I get it. The linebacking play wasn't great today. Hey, I give Syracuse credit. Angeli can make plays. We knew that. They're okay at wide receiver, but, man, they don't have enough players. I'll tell you who's a nice player is their running back. Syracuse's running back is a nice player. I like that kid a lot.
Well, I mean, we went 4 deep on running back. Even that Morris kid got some touches.
Yep.
But all in all, it's a positive, and you just got to get better. Y'all have a great day.
865-200-5402. Gone Postal says it gives $50 super chat on behalf of my boy and your boy too, Tone. Dave Locke, that's a longtime listener. Shout out Dave Locke. Shout out Ben McKee as he fights on. Josh Carter says the defense will be better. We're without McCoy. We're without Hobbs. We're without Ricky Gibson, who missed the second half. Arion Carter missed time. Defensive line was down 2 to 3 guys in the game. I mean, I agree with you, Will. Tennessee played a ton of guys, and I just keep it all in perspective. And look, like we like to say, those are Division I athletes over there from Syracuse, and that running back, that Willis kid, is a really nice player. I mean, he went 91 yards on 23 carries, and he earned every damn one of them because there was contact behind the line of scrimmage with him several times, and he ended up picking up yards.
Yeah, and Bishop had the one where they had him behind the line of scrimmage,
sure
and
did.
He went for like 47.
He sure did.
So again, that's week 1 stuff, right? You're going to get better at tackling. You're probably going to not blow an assignment and give up as many chunk plays. You're going to get more efficient on offense. Maybe when you have a lead, slow things down a little bit, and be able to sustain drives without the big play. So yeah, it's just a lot of good info and film to take into next week. And like you said, it's kind of all about the Georgia game, but
yep.
Winning the first one means we can't lose them all. So you can't win them all if you don't win the first one either. So
Navy wife Allison over on YouTube says the following: Hey T, per Husker Chad, Tony, you have Chiefs Kingdom derangement syndrome. Quit dissing my Nebraska quarterback. And for me, she said, go Big Orange. Great first game, Joey. I'm going to tell you what. He was one more deep ball away from me calling him Joey Football today. Oh, what the hell? His name's Joey Football. Joey Football balled out today. The thing we kept hearing about him in the offseason from people inside the complex was that his teammates liked him and that he's got some testicular fortitude about him. He's got onions that drag the ground. He did not look afraid for 5 seconds today. As for Nebraska's starting quarterback, I was at Calhoun's on the river yesterday, and I said in front of people, because I have no sense, and Bino looked at me when I said it, but it's a good line. You know, this Raiola guy from Nebraska tries to act like he's Patrick Mahomes. Looks like him, kind of walks like him, does the duck walk like him, has all his mannerisms. It's very creepy. If I were him, if I were Mahomes, I would be afraid the guy was going to show up on my doorstep. But at any rate, I was wondering if his girlfriend looks like a dime store version of that Brittany Mahomes. And when I said that yesterday, Will, the way those people looked at me, the way they looked at me, I mean, come on, man, come on. Let's go back to the phones. But I've never been shy. So back to our phones we go. Hello and welcome in. It's Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. You're on the TLD Logistics phone lines. Hi.
Hey, Tony. It's Randy from Altamont.
Hey, Randy, welcome in.
Hey, this game's totally just is unexpected, okay? Offense done good, defense struggled, okay? I was expecting the total opposite. You can tell that our coaching staff has more faith in this quarterback because the stuff that they threw out there and impressed me. It looked like our wide receivers ran the right routes. They were open. He's got to quit throwing it over their head, but he threw it to the right person every time. It seemed like he wasn't throwing it to. You went, what are you thinking? You know, I didn't have none of them with him. And
not a one.
Is just
not a one. You're right.
And our defense, we're going to have to score some points the way it looks like. It ain't going to be like last year. It just ain't going. It ain't going to be like it. Unless Syracuse is that good. And that's what I got out of this game, Tony. And we it seemed like we got pressure when we blitzed. If we didn't blitz, it was rough.
Yep.
Our linebackers are still struggling, Tony. There's not a
you can't hide that. You can't hide
our linebackers and
nope.
They struggle.
Yep.
They don't fill a hole. They get past the line, it's like, where are you at? And they're somewhere else.
And they were struggling in space today too, yes. I think some of that they'll clean up though, Randy. People want to worry about the Georgia game. I was worried about the Syracuse game, and I was worried about our opener. And for an opener, that's a solid opener right there.
Yeah. I'll worry about Georgia when it gets here.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, but the linebacker stuff, I was hoping it cleaned up from last year. I was hoping the boys grew up. I just didn't see it, Tony, and that's But Hood played a great game. Our secondary was, we got guys open, but they threw the ball a lot, Tony. And Aguilar, our line done good.
Yep.
It just was totally opposite of what I expected. I expected our defense to dominate and offense to struggle, and our offense did good. It's nice to see offenses and thinking you can score without. And Aguilar, like I said, and I love that touchdown pass to Star Thomas when he threw it over. He let him make a play, Tony.
Yeah,
he throws it up and lets him make plays.
He improvised.
Yes.
On the play, and he improvised late in the game on the goal line, the ball to Brazel that was called back, and his offensive line, his fake was so good, his ball skill stuff, that his guys on the offensive line, and they had an RPO, the RPO was on there, but they assumed the ball was given off, and they were finishing blocks, downfield. There were like 3 guys. There were at least 3 that you could have called on that play for being an ineligibility downfield, which just goes to show you this guy is pretty crafty with the football, Randy. I was impressed.
Yeah. And I was impressed with our offensive line because I didn't know the freshmen weren't going to play until they turned on television.
Yeah.
And they had to adjust 3 people for 1 person.
That's right.
And they did a heck of a job.
I agree with that.
And as far as I know, that 5 played the whole game. Now on defense,
yes,
they had a lot of subs in there. They played a lot of kids on defense.
I can't wait to see the numbers out of this one in terms of the numbers of defenders that play. I see where Boo Carter got a tackle late in the game, so he got in and he got a tackle. I don't mean to pick on the boy, but if Boo Carter makes that tackle on that quarterback, that game's over quicker than it is on 4th down. Yes.
And I'm thinking, I don't mean to pick on him, but it's just this game has just flipped what I thought throughout the year, and it may change throughout the year. But our defense, Banks has got a lot of work to do because unless he's going to blitz every play, Ross, I stick a lot out of Ross. Ross looks like a speed guy, and that's it. I just was. And so that's what I got out of Tony. And I ain't worried about Georgia till it gets here. I'm going to have fun with this year. And
thank you, Randy. Every step of the way. Randy in Altamont, ladies and gentlemen. He lives in the Orange House down in Altamont. Maybe you've seen it. 865-200-5402. My eyes are on this Alabama-Florida State game, which is a fantastic football game here early on. Quarterback play matters. This Castellano guy, Florida State looks totally different than they did last year, body language-wise, with this kid that comes in from Boston College. And Ty Simpson looks okay early on. I think Ty Simpson's going to be fine for Alabama. It's a 7-7, about 12 and a half to play in the first half. So, interesting football game so far. We'll go back to our TLD Logistics phone lines here momentarily. Randy talking about things that surprised me. One of the things, Will, that surprised me in this game, and Josh Carter asked about it on a super chat over on YouTube, is, Tony, are you surprised we didn't utilize tight ends more? Or are we saving things for Georgia? I'm very surprised by that because they have 3 tight ends they really like in terms of pass-catching options. I would have thought they would have used the tight ends on the first couple plays of the game to get this quarterback comfortable. That's not what they did. Tennessee came out in 1st and 10, and Joey Football ripped it up the middle for 13 yards to Matthews. And then 1st and 10, threw a pass 9 yards to Brazel, and got that. Then they're up to the 47-yard line. And then on 2nd and 1, a deep pass incomplete for Brazel. And then to Sean Bishop with a run to the right. And then after a false start, they threw the ball to Kitzelman, which was incomplete. So our first play to a tight end did not come 5 plays into the football game. Hey, Will, that surprises me, man. That surprised me to see that.
Yeah, me too. I mean, that was kind of the chatter around camp and going into the season. It's like we're not really sure how deep we are in the wide receiver room, but we do have tight ends that we like, and several of them, and it's a deep room. So we thought, 22 personnel, you get some interesting looks where you've got 2 tight ends, maybe one kind of up the seam and maybe one check down option, but that could be something that they're saving. So it's surprising, yes, but could be a good thing for when they do pull it out. They've got an added element. But I did really like how they made it a point to get Matthews, Brazel, and Staley involved immediately, and I thought they all played pretty well. I mean, there were a couple drops. The Jeremiah Smith, the best player in the country, dropped a few for Ohio State. That's part of the deal, right? But they made plays. They ran good routes. They got open. They looked athletic. That's the main thing I'm trying to figure out and see how it looks. And from an eye test perspective, again, this is the same thing with Joey. It's like it's not really the numbers and the results. It's like, what does it look like? What does it feel like when it's mid-play? What does your gut tell you is going to happen? It's like if something good is going to happen in your gut, then you probably feel pretty good about where you're at moving forward. And so just talking strictly about the tight ends, the more we sit here and stew on it, I'm like, that's pretty good. They probably have some things up their sleeve for when they need them.
Well, and that's the other thing, because those guys can perform. So, and that's going to happen, and those guys are going to have their moments. I thought the receiving core was good today. It was great seeing Staley get loose. Look, they really need for Staley to come and to stay at the party this year. That will really help them. And the way, as comfortable as he looked on the scoring drive, it was so fun to see him. In fact, let's get to it. Ladies and gentlemen, the 73-yard TD reception, that is your T3 TD of the game. As soon as it happened, I knew it. You knew it. We know it. And you will score a TD every time. Every time with T3 vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka. Say it loud. And say it proud. Handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of Tennessee pride. The Volunteer State has been taken by storm. Handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. It's filtered 10 times. It's 80 proof. It's a 5-time gold medal winning vodka. 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award winner. So whether you're sipping it neat on the rocks, mixing it up with your favorite cocktail, celebrating another Tennessee Volunteer victory, ladies and gentlemen, T3 vodka. Drink it neat, drink it right, and drink it every time. And ask for it by name at your local restaurant and at your local wine store. T3 vodka, distributed by Athens Distributed Company. And please drink responsibly. I go back to the phones. Brian Johnson, Super Chat. And again, I'm giving all the proceeds of the Super Chats today over on YouTube to our guy Ben McKee, who prayers up for him. He said Angeli was who John Bryce said he was. John Bryce appeared in our regular show about 8 days ago. He said, here's the deal with Steve Angeli. Steve Angeli lost his job at Notre Dame in the spring, or he was competing with 2 other quarterbacks. He never had the job, so to speak, but he was a veteran, and they wouldn't have minded giving him the job if he would have performed. He said they're in a practice, and he was sacked 4 times in a practice while rotating with 2 other quarterbacks, just a regular garden variety practice. And the point is that he was a serial ball holder there. Bryce said, if you give the guy time, he'll hurt you. I would say that's probably an accurate statement after watching him today. And at the end of the day, Brian Johnson says the following. Angeli was who Bryce said he was. He said that's point 1. Point 2, I'm a little bit concerned about how they pushed us around a little bit. Point 3, Joey Aguilar needs to get some of those throws down. Here's the deal on Joey Aguilar. We got to be honest about it, okay? He is who he is. He's a 6th-year guy. He is a guy that misses receivers in the intermediate spots. That is who he is. I think, Will, that is who he's going to be. You just have to hope with him that he manages your offense well. He's not going to make all those throws. He's not going to be one of these refined quarterbacks. It's just, guys are allowed to get better. I'm with the concept, but this guy is 6 years in college football now. It's kind of who he is. I'll live with that. I will live with the occasional overthrow. like he gave you in the first half, as long as, I'll make a deal with you, as long as you get me my fair share of deep balls, I'll live with that. Will you agree? And then we go back to the phones.
Yeah, this is the thought I had kind of mid-game. And I'm okay with this. You can tell me if you agree or not. Not to, this isn't really a blanket statement, but if you had to say, Will, what do you really think? After watching today, what do you really think the season's going to look like? There's going to be a game, whether it's Georgia, at Bama, at Florida, one of those games where we're probably not supposed to win, where he will put you on his shoulders and win.
Yes.
And then there will be a game where it's not very pretty, and they're going to have to win with the 3 running backs and the defense and win in spite of him, or they'll lose. But he will win us a game. I think Tennessee will be in a game that they probably shouldn't be in because of him. I'm okay with that. Not everybody might be.
Yes.
But I'm for the get the biggest win possible. If you lose one that you're not supposed to, that'll sting. It really will. But I'm about big time wins. And if we can get a huge program type win that everybody's talking about for that next week or a couple weeks, then we could be in the playoff conversation. If you're able to get to 9-3 or 10-2, if things go really well, you're probably for sure in. But if you win one, maybe you're not supposed to, then you kind of put yourself in the conversation. And I'm good with that.
Tennessee will have an opportunity in a couple of weeks, obviously, when Georgia comes to town. The other thing I want you to keep in mind, then we go back to our phones. My friends at Calhoun's, back for another year with us. They are the Taste of Tennessee. Yesterday I was down there with Bino, as I was saying before. We do our Friday show there. This Friday coming up, Al Wilson's going to be with us in the flesh. And so the captain of the Volunteers, the great Al Wilson, I had about a 35, 40-minute conversation with him earlier in the week. And every time I talk to Al Wilson, I just feel like I can do better. Every time I talk to him. The guy makes you feel like you're going to run through a brick wall for him. So keep that in mind. We'll be live at Calhoun's on the River. They are the Taste of Tennessee. There's one near you. This is the season now where we tailgate. This is the season where this weekend we barbecue, we hang out with our friends. Let Calhoun's be a part of that. They've got great to-go items. They've got great tailgating options for you all football season long. They are, ladies and gentlemen, say it loud and say it proud, the Taste of Tennessee. As we get ready to go back to our phones, as the Volunteers defeat Syracuse 45-26, I want to say a special word of congratulations to McKee, who I thought the portions I heard of today's broadcast, he and the great Ramon Foster, a.k.a. the Big Ragu, as they called him in Pittsburgh, those two guys were excellent today on the radio. Absolutely excellent. So congratulations to the Vol Network, Brandon Parks, everybody involved. Cadoos to you, as the great Philip Fulmer would say to you if he were here today. Let's go back to the phones. 865-200-5402. Hello and welcome in. You're live on the air.
What's up, guys? It's Music City Sam.
Hey, Sam. Welcome in.
Hey, I hope Will has a job after this week because I just took VIP play for a bucket of cash.
Go! That's what I'm screaming.
Hey, man, that was fun to watch. A lot of stuff I thought might happen ended up happening. I was really impressed with the offensive line, especially after starting 4 new people, and they limited penalties. One of them I didn't even think was on them, that false start, where the 2 guys jumped into the neutral zone. So, I mean, I really only saw 1 penalty and a bunch of clean pockets, which was very encouraging.
Especially when you've got a reworked offensive line. As one of our callers, I think it was Randy or one of our callers earlier said, you've got a reworked offensive line that you had to rework that much more because Sanders couldn't go today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you throw Wendell Moy over at right guard. He didn't miss a beat. Sham Umarov played well. I mean, they are long with that group out there.
No doubt about it.
But, yeah, I mean, who knows what can come from this in terms of Joey Aguilar's play. I know he threw some high balls there in the beginning, but half of those the receivers or tight ends have to come down with. I mean, they hit him in the hands. But, you know, it's first game jitters, you know, just starting off. I thought the defense in general played well. They got us points, but also, you know, Syracuse knew after the first quarter that they're going to have to score points to have any chance. They went for some fourth downs. You know, they're 3 for 3 before that final play. In a different type of game, I don't think they might not be scoring those points in the same way they did. So we'll give the defense a little bit of grace on that. That game was close to being a 40-point blowout.
And it was a 12-point game because I thought the damn thing would never end. I mean, you had Syracuse laying down on every other play in the fourth quarter. That turned into an unwatchable kind of slop fest because they've figured out a way already to circumvent this thing, because if the ball's not spotted, I lay on the ground. We talked about it at halftime. They had two different guys, Syracuse did, two different guys on the same play go down. And I was proud of the ESPN guys for calling that out today. They were like, those guys aren't hurt. Those guys, look at those guys. They're just laying on the ground. And
one of them said, and Dimitri Samuel has made a miraculous comeback.
Yeah, miraculous. Exactly.
Yeah, but that was, I thought, for a team with a lot of quote unquote questions, they had some answers, and it was very encouraging. You know, I wrote a piece on the offensive line. I wrote a piece on the rushing. I thought the rushing wouldn't miss a beat. I mean, just the different options in the run game. All three of those backs had different things they brought to the table. Peyton Lewis falls forward. Star Thomas has some of that Dylan Sampson wiggle to him.
He sure did. That was surprising.
And Deshaun Bishop's just a bulldog. So it's yeah. And we didn't even get the tight ends. That's the crazy part.
Right. There's a lot of meat on that bone, man. There's a lot of meat on the tight end bone. The tight ends are really going to come into play, obviously. When we get into league play, space becomes a premium. It becomes more and more difficult to fit balls in. See 2 weeks. The tight ends will be a major part of what they do in 2 weeks. They'll have to be. And they're going to play, I would say probably Georgia will see some 12 personnel from Tennessee as well. But the Vols today had an opener, Sam, that they could kind of relax with today. That was sort of a relaxing opener.
It was so nice to see them come out fast and score points in the first quarter. And when they hit that deep ball, man, I ran around my parents' house like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, no offense to Nico, and I don't know why this is with Heupel. I don't pretend to know why this is. This guy right here is a better fit than the guy that went to UCLA for this guy's offense. And I don't know why that is. I don't pretend to know why that is. This guy looked really comfortable in their offense today. A lot more comfortable than Nico last year.
Yeah, he had the same calming presence that Hendon Hooker did. I'm not comparing him to Hendon Hooker yet, but he had that presence about him where, I'm not worried about this. Because, look, they had 4 drop balls in the first quarter, or first however many minutes, and he kept slinging them out there.
Yep, I agree. I think that was really, for a guy that just got here, okay, that is so impressive to do what they did today. It's impressive that he did it. It's impressive that what the staff did with him. It's impressive that they pulled it off. That was a very good opener, man. That's hard to beat. That was A-level, A-grade stuff, man. It really was.
Yeah, we wondered what we would get from Joey Aguilar on a team that had some big boys up front, a good coach behind him, and some talent around him.
Yeah.
And he didn't disappoint. I mean, he was close to having a big game. But again, for a first game, all the pent up energy of the off season to go out and get that, get the cover the points, all that good stuff. I'm not disappointed at all. I'm ecstatic.
Thank you, Sam. Good talking to you. And Sam writes for us over at tclub.team and does a great job. Music City Sam. TLD Logistics phone line if you want to get in at 865-200-5402. We are Garza Law. Tennessee fifth quarter fan reaction. We've got thousands listening all around the world. I mean, got 1.5 thousand alone on Twitter Spaces, several hundred here in our YouTube channel. Check us out there if you want to go there. And we'll go back to our phones. Florida State driving with the football deep inside Alabama territory, already ahead 14-7 as we're inside 4:20 and counting in that football game. And it's amazing. Isn't it amazing what quarterback play can do for you? Because this Castellano guy looks extremely comfortable, Will Heflin, does he not?
No, he does. And that stadium's about as alive as it has been.
No doubt.
Since that year before last, so I guess the 23 season when they had such a good run with Jordan Travis and company. Last year was kind of one of those years you just flush for Florida State, but since Norvell's been there, they've, outside of last year, been really good. And so Alabama, they put together a really good drive coming out of the gate, and now they got their hands full. So this is shaping up to be a real good one. But if you're thinking about the landscape of the ACC, it's kind of like, okay, there's another team that's very competitive in the ACC this year, which makes for a better conference season for them because you've got Clemson, Miami, who should be good, but you want to have a bunch of really high-level games. So, it's better for college football when Florida State's good, but obviously Bama's loaded as well. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how they settle into this game and ultimately what the final score will be will tell us a lot for both teams.
I love these games early in the year, though. I love Bama going there. I love Texas going up there to Ohio State today, even though they took their licking. It's great for college football to play these games. I'm told that the Syracuse game was about 75% capacity. Syracuse brought about 100 people to the game, talking to some folks that were there. And I'm sure we'll hear from folks as the show unfolds, as folks are making their way out of the game, now getting in their cars and all that stuff. But you're locked and loaded here, as we are terra firma, and we're fired up, focused, and prepared in Knoxville that you brought back a W, and I want you to know that. Those that were there, it was such a tremendous Tennessee contingency on hand. Josh Carter, Super Chat, says Mike Keith or Ramon Foster killed it today on the radio. G to the B to the O. He also goes on to say, I agree with Will. This team will win one of its big three games, but you got to avoid that bad loss. Joey's a gamer. You can just tell. Yeah, I agree with that. I think a guy...
Gamer's the best word, Tony. I love that word.
Yes.
Watching Haynes King last night, that's
gamer.
the word you use. The guy's a gamer.
Yes.
If Joey Aguilar's a gamer, that's about the highest form of compliment you can give the guy. And we'll go into battle every single week if you've got a gamer back there. And at that position, it's so vital. I mean, Will Howard last year, gamer. You know what I mean? And that it's not all about how far you can throw it, what your 40 time is. All that stuff matters. It certainly does. But when you have a gamer at quarterback, it's such an easy team to get behind and enjoy rooting for.
That is a truth. And this kid's story, as they played it up today on ESPN, if he has any kind of success, they are going to jump on this kid's story. And I mean jump on this kid's story. Josh Carter, another Super Chat, goes on to say, the O-line was the story today. Even last year against NC State, Nico was under pressure. That O-line today kept that quarterback clean and could be straight up nasty if healthy. Hey, listen, I agree with that. And the Pendleton guy looks a lot like John Wilkerson. How about those apples? When they flash his photo
David
up there.
Sanders either.
And no David Sanders. The
one thing I will say,
yeah,
Syracuse not great up front. It's going to get a lot tougher. I'm not going to take it away from the O-line. That's a good way to keep, good job for keeping your guy upright. But I'm gonna hold judgment there a little bit.
Well, Syracuse,
as I've said in other areas as well.
And you're gambling. I mean, you're a VIP play. Will Syracuse's win total's like 4.5 wins on the year for a reason. Again,
yeah,
and you saw that today. Even though they have enough, skilled people to kind of stay in it and sort of make it a game and sort of hang around till they weren't, and then Tennessee eventually covers the number. But let's go back to the phones. I'm thrilled beyond belief with that start for Tennessee. I think that's I don't need it to be perfect in week 1. It's not going to be perfect anyway. It's college football. But I'm not sure how it could look better than that. I'm not sure how. Yeah, okay, defensively, the linebacking core wasn't very okay. I mean, you want to pick on things, that's fine. But you're on the field a lot. I mean, when Tennessee's going fast the way they are, your defense is going to be out there a whole bunch, which is why we saw the return of, and TGMD will be celebrating this when we get there, the return of the lay-down lineman. And that is a reason for absolute celebration, ladies and gentlemen. That lay-down lineman. I thought the Vols, for this being a first game, that was as good as it gets. John Adams is in the mix and in the hunt. We'll come to him momentarily. Let's go back to the phones. On your TLD Logistics phone lines, it's Garza Law, Tennessee, 5th quarter fan reaction. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Tony B, it's Zach in E-Town. Lay down, lineman, because our team is out of gas.
Yep. It's pretty great, isn't it?
When those two corners dropped, and it did it in almost like a stuttered motion. It was like the one guy went down, and the other guy must have forgot. And he was like, oh, I think I was supposed to go down. And then he dropped. I'd like to know if he heard it from his coach. What did you think about about Peyton Lewis and his performance and the fact that he runs with no gloves, a la Reggie Cobb?
I'm loving that. That's so old school, man. That was so
I knew you'd like
old
that.
school. I thought, and one of our callers said it earlier, all three of these backs give you something a little different, which as a coach and a staff, kind of it's what you look for. You hear the old adage of a change of pace. I think all three of those guys bring something unique to the table, which is a good first world problem to have. I was really impressed with Star Thomas's finishing runs at the end of the game. Great sign.
Yeah, he kept those legs moving, and I guess who would you say is the most power of the power back of the three?
Probably Bishop, but I'm going to have to get a longer look at all three of those guys before I make that determination.
Yeah, because I thought that they played well. I just wanted to throw it over to the Florida State game. It is he just mentioned, and maybe Will was talking about quarterback play. I think Squirrel White's already had of course this doesn't really mean it's one game, but he's already had a couple of catches, including a 40-yard bomb there.
How about that? Good for him.
It is it is interesting what a good quarterback can make do. I mean,
this Aguilar, I'm telling you, this Aguilar looks like a better player to me than the guy that Tennessee had last year. I'm sorry. I hate to say that out loud, but
no. Oh, and when do they play?
They play tonight at 11 Eastern time, and I will be there hate watching every second of the day.
I'd say the viewership in Tennessee for the Oregon or for the UCL. I said Oregon as a Freudian slip.
Yep. He wanted it to be Oregon.
He
tried.
He was watching Oregon. Yeah, he was watching Oregon.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see what that viewership is like But anyways, it is weird. Like Florida State can go through a rough year and try to flush it. That's what the Braves are doing this year. And then they got a guy named Castellanos. So the parallels are running deep today. But thanks for doing the halftime thing, and thanks for the show. Are you going to keep doing these through football season and through basketball?
The halftimes?
No, the calling game.
Every post game show. Nothing changing. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
This is who we are, brah.
All right, brother man.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you guys later. Go Vols.
And thank you for serenading me. John Adams, I don't know that Aguilar's a better quarterback than Nico. That's kind of an idiotic thing to say. It's kind of not what I meant. But he looks like a better fit for what Tennessee tries to do offensively. And that is really what matters. As I bring John Adams in here of my Knoxville News Sentinel, and Tuesdays he joins us on the program presented by Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. John, lay it on me. What'd you think today?
Yeah, I think my take was kind of similar to yours. Great minds. Yeah, you can't. It's just one game, and you can't get too carried away with one game. But put context to what Joey Aguilar did. He wasn't even here for spring ball. He comes in the summer, takes a cram course in it. And Josh Heupel's offense, it's a different kind of offense than what he was running. And he was playing against, Syracuse is not an top-notch SEC team, obviously. But it's an upgrade over Sun Belt Conference teams, certainly. I agree with you. I wrote in the headline, I put it on it, that might get changed, but he might be a quarterback upgrade for Tennessee. I know he doesn't have Nico's arm. He doesn't have Nico's height.
Yep.
But he looked really comfortable in that offense, more comfortable than Nico did, which, even though he'd been through an entire season as a redshirt, 2023, but Aguilar looked comfortable in this offense. He showed that early with a 25-yard run. It's led to a Tennessee score. But it was that deep ball, the kind of pass that Nico just couldn't hit consistently. He hit Braylon Staley in stride. He wasn't wide open. He was open, but not wide open. Needed a really on-target throw, and Aguilar delivered just that. And I really liked his second touchdown throw because he had to move out of the pocket. He was scrambling to his left. That's a hard throw for a quarterback, a right-handed quarterback, scrambling left, and then make a throw into the end zone to a tightly covered receiver, and he was right on the money. It was somewhat of a risky throw, but I think that's the book on Aguilar. He's an aggressive quarterback. He's going to try to make throws, and I was really impressed. I was really impressed overall with Tennessee's offense. Again, knowing it was going against not a great defense, but there are just so many questions about this offense going into the season. A revamped offensive line.
Yes.
Drastically changed wide receiving core. I think this wide receiving core will be better than what I saw last year. I really do. Again, based on one game. But I love the way the interior of the offensive line played. I mean, it really controlled the line of scrimmage from the get-go.
And, John, 3 new pieces. They had to move guys around.
They had to move
accommodate
guys around.
David Sanders. I mean, that was a remarkable, just for a first game, right? These first games on offense tend to be real slop fest. Tennessee came right out with a revamped offensive line, all new wide receivers, a quarterback here for 100 days, and they're slinging it around in the first drive, and they looked very comfortable in that game. I mean, that's a very impressive job by the coaches, by the kids, by the people that drew it up, by everybody involved. That was extremely impressive, I thought.
Yeah, and I thought the new players in this offense, we're talking about interior linemen too, and a new starting center.
Yes.
And the quarterback in Aguilar, who has no experience in this system. They were moving up tempo very well. They seemed to be on time. They just looked comfortable. And then in that offensive line, so I think Tennessee might be better in the offensive line this year than it was last year. So questions I had about the offense going in at quarterback, receiver, and even in the offensive line without Cooper Mays. But it's possible, I say possible because, again, it's just one game, but that Tennessee could be better in those areas. I thought I was kind of surprised at Syracuse, and I give credit to Syracuse. That game was starting to look like a blowout, and Syracuse really maintained its composure, I thought, and kind of made a game of it a little bit in that fourth quarter, running the ball. So that also showed to me that maybe it was a better team than, say, the NC State team that Tennessee blew out last September. I mean, I think Syracuse, best case scenario, it can make a bowl game. I don't think
Best
it's
case.
going to be much better.
Yeah, best case. Yeah.
It won't be much better than that. But I just think overall, when you consider all the factors and just the uncertainty about the offense, it was a really nice opener for Tennessee.
Back to the phones we go. He's John Adams. Also in the house is Will Heflin, a.k.a. VIP Play Will. Today I had a parlay up on VIP Play, which was Tennessee first half line, Tennessee the line in the game, and also Tennessee over their team total, and they hit on that. So I'll take credit for being 1-0 on the year on a three-legger with the kicker, as Florida State is up on Alabama 17-7, and the skies have opened in Tallahassee. It is pouring there. It's a pretty amazing scene to see it. And Ty Simpson just kept the ball on 3rd and 5 and about got himself ripped in half. And I mean ripped in half. As we go back to our phones, this is a wild-looking scene in Tallahassee right now, and another reason why I love college football. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony B.
Hey, Richard. Welcome in.
Oh man, good to be in. Good first game victory. Loved everything that that we got a chance to look out there and see. And for the most part of the game, I thought Tennessee came out very well prepared, focused. Played a really, really good first half. There were times, of course, in the game that a very young, inexperienced team that played a lot of people lost some focus, and Syracuse kept battling, like John Adams just said. They kept their composure and they kept playing and stayed in the ball game. But overall, I think a lot of our question marks were answered, at least for the first game. First of all, you start with the guys up front, the starting offensive line that got through a curveball this game and had to reshuffle. Tony, the offensive line play was outstanding for this game. Again, the people keep saying, well, what about when they get in the field? Who cares? All you care about is you're 1-0 and you played this game and your offensive line went out there and had an outstanding game. And the one thing that I love about this offensive line, Tony, they are more athletic than the last couple of years. And David Sanders is the most athletic of them all, and he missed this game. So it really bodes well when he comes back next week that this is going to be a deeper offensive line, more athletic. I think there's a lot of things that they can do. Second question mark, Joey Aguilar. How is he going to handle being so new to this team, not going through spring and all that? He's a ball player. He's a gamer, understands the pocket, understands when to move, not afraid to use his legs, understands how to get out and make plays with the passing game. So I think for his first game in this offense and what we needed, again, huge A+ for, again, the way he played. Yeah, a few balls that he threw high, but all quarterbacks have those throws every game where they throw high. And so just got to continue to get better. And then, of course, the running backs, how do they replace Dylan Simpson? Again, another A+. I thought the running backs ran hard. They ran great. Again, the offensive line gave them a lot of room. They fell forward. Star Thomas, I think, is a true find in the portal, along with Colton Hood as a DB. Yeah. I think we hit gold with those guys, and Wendell Moy as the offensive guard. So no doubt that that we hit in the transfer portal for the pieces we got. So, again, I'm excited. I thought it was a wonderful game. Yes, could we have tried to put it away? Young, inexperienced team in a lot of places. The game kind of got weird there in the third quarter because of all of the guys just laying on the field all the time. Slowed the game down a lot, really took a lot of momentum away. And that was the only disappointing thing as a fan watching the game, is just how that game just turned into just
oh my gosh.
It was horrible.
Richard, they have got to figure out something with the sport and I know they in the off season they came up with this rule about we're going to take a timeout away from you, but they left that caveat in there where if the ball's not spotted, so they've taught these kids to lay down before the ball gets spotted. It's the same
Absolutely.
damn thing. I mean, it is so frustrating as a fan. It really, really cheapens your product. And listen, I use the term product because these guys are making billions of dollars from television now. I cannot believe that the TV networks put up with this because it's horrendous. It's awful.
That is true, but they sure get a lot of chance to get a lot of commercials in there, don't they, Tony?
Yes, no doubt about it.
So there's that. I think, Tony, eventually they're going to have to say that when you fake and when you go down like that and it continues, they're going to have to say you got to miss the rest of the quarter as a player. That's the only way you're going to get all these guys falling
I agree with that.
Done.
I agree with that. Because
it'll make a better product. But yeah, just again, overall, man, I don't know how anybody cannot be excited. Yes, the front seven, there were some things that they leaked some oil against the Syracuse running game. I thought the Syracuse running back played like a grown man and was very, very good in the game. But also, I'm sitting there going, okay, two of our top three defensive tackles are not even playing after Moy went out in the first series. Hobbs didn't play.
Yep.
I look at when McCoy is ready to go here in a couple of weeks. I just think there's a lot of pieces, and they did play a lot of people. They had a lot of young guys out there running around playing. So I give the coaches credit. They weren't afraid to play a lot of people, saying, you know what, this is a 12-game season. We got to build depth for this team, and we'll just take our lumps sometimes playing a lot of people, and they did it. So, how many times, Tony, have we come on here before, past coaches that never played players? They just played the starters almost the whole game.
No, you got to grow your guys, man. And in the portal era, you either grow them or they're going to grow on somebody else's roster. So
that is true.
You don't have, and I appreciate you, Richard, you don't have the luxury you once did because you're not calling the shots now. You either play your guys or somebody else is going to play your guys because they're going to take them off your roster and they're going to take them from you. Before we go back to the phones, I got to ask John what he thought of some of the different things that Tennessee did offensively, if he noticed any. Wrinkles, as somebody's asking me that in a super chat today, and we're giving all our super chat funds today to the great Ben McKee, who we wish well, and we want him to, as he's on the road to recovery with a health battle that he's in the midst of. We'll go back to our TLD Logistics phone lines here momentarily as the Vols roll Syracuse, and if you want to get in and celebrate that fact, we will let you do that as one line is available for you if you want to jump on. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's about that time. It's the Conexial My 20 drive of the game right here, Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. Conexial, they revolutionizing your trucking industry nationwide right here from beautiful Knoxville. And they're serving our entire country, making your fleet more efficient, the drivers on our roads safer. We all want that. Take control of your fleet, improve your safety scores, make your drivers happy, maximize your profitability. KONEXIAL.com. KONEXIAL.com is where you find them. Drive life with Conexial. And go Vols. I thought that the drive of the game, for my money, occurs late in the second quarter as Tennessee goes 6 plays, 75 yards in 1 minute, 29 seconds. And John, again, and Richard was talking about this. This is a kid that just got here. This Aguilar guy just got here. Remarkable, man. Remarkable.
Yeah, Tony, again, the fact that he didn't, and maybe we make a bigger deal out of this than we should, spring practice. But it's certainly helpful for a quarterback to at least, if nothing else, familiarize him with a system, familiarize himself with his receivers. He didn't get to do any of that, but it didn't seem to matter. But one thing it shows and kind of reinforces ability, a talent, just a person that comes through and can overcome other things.
Yep.
This guy has such a great story. And
John's going in and out on us. Stay right there, John, and we'll go back to our phones. Without further ado, Aguilar's a guy, and Matt Dixon's getting ready to join us live from Georgia. Aguilar's a guy that's really easy to root for. I mean, the story's unbelievable. He was a walk-on at a junior college nobody's ever heard of. A walk-on in a league you've never heard of. He's had to fight for everything, everywhere he's been. He's had to fight everywhere he's been. It's incredible. Hello and welcome in. And he looked very comfortable in that offense today. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, Will, and John. How you guys?
Hey, welcome in, Greg.
Hey, great ball game. I'm happy for it. I'm happy for Joey football. He did what I just felt deep down inside that we would see from him. And he did exactly what I was wishing for and had a great game throwing the football. And I synced in the Vol network on the TV, so I had the TV turned down. And Mike Keith and Ramon did a heck of a job. The entire network did a great job. Larry Stone is a great add to the network, too. Such a great guy. But, you know, just like Ramon made a comment about on the balls that were thrown that were dropped, you know, I know several of them that were thrown, hit the hands of the, quote, receiver, unquote. You're a receiver. Good receivers make great plays on balls that are not thrown to their chest, but are in arm's length away from them. And Matthews, one of them was above his head, and it hit the tops of about the middle of his fingers. Didn't jump any. As big as he is, he should have brought that ball in. I couldn't understand why they were missing him. But anyway, all of that to get better after one game. They'll improve a little bit better. And the offensive line, man, those guys were great as well. I loved every second of that. Defense had some guys open across the middle several plays, but it'll get better as well. One thing, you don't take your foot off the pedal. Josh Heupel seems to love to do that. You're playing good teams. You know, Syracuse is a decent team, Tony. They fought back pretty doggone good when they took the metal off the pedal. But you can't worry about stomping somebody's butt, hurting their feelings.
Well, Greg, listen, I don't know that Heupel likes doing that. I'll tell you a thing that's curious with me, and I'm going to bring Matt Dixon in here, who's in Atlanta. Matt, it's very strange to me that Tennessee's salting away a game, and the TV crew pointed this out, and rightfully so. Man, you can't be snapping a ball in a 2-score game like that with 30 seconds on a clock. I mean, you've got to run that clock, don't you, Matt? Don't you have to pay attention to that a little bit? What do you think?
Yeah. I thought that was a misstep by the coaching staff to not do that, to milk the clock, because you needed the game to get over. You needed a running clock as much as possible.
Yes.
With all the injuries you have defensively, which is probably my biggest takeaway from this game. I mean, we're just ravaged by injuries, and we're a game into the season. And at one point, three deep at one of our defensive tackle spots was out. And, you lost three of your top four corners were out by the end of the game. You had two walk-ons in there. I mean, that was, that's obviously really concerning. But yeah, I think you needed to be, your game management and time management needed to be a little bit better.
And I love what they did today. Look, that's one hell of a great coaching job. But man, the whole concept of the game is over. The game is over. Bleed the clock. Hey, Matt, they were snapping it with 33 seconds on the clock. And the TV crew is going, what are these guys doing? And you know what? Rightfully so. Because you just don't see that. It was very curious. So, Greg, look, they had a lull in the third quarter. Tennessee had a lull. That was also in the same period of the game where Aguilar went to the tent. Some sort of midsection kind of injury that he was thought to have had, or something occurred with him. It's a very physical football game, to Matt's point. Syracuse was physical as well.
Hey, they said a lower body injury on the radio.
Yeah.
Jason Swain had told them.
Yeah.
And then, get this, that happened. He started passing the ball on the sidelines, and he come back in, and he ran the football on a play.
Ran the ball, sure
what
did.
What the hell?
He's a tough guy, man. Hey,
yeah.
Nico, and I'm not saying Nico's not tough, but this guy's countenance on a football field, his presence on a football field, he's like an anti-Nico to me, he looks like.
I agree with that 100%. And let me just say something that John said before I went on. He compared Nico and Joey. He didn't have Nico's arm. I sure as hell glad he ain't got his arm. But one more thing before I get off, brother. The worst thing that happened today, about 4 minutes to go in the game, ESPN cuts it off, goes to the pregame of the Florida State-Alabama game, and Twitter went off. I know Chris Lowe was one of them and several others. What the hell's going on? The ones who had that ESPN app, they even lost it on ESPN Plus. I lost it, and I was listening to the Ball Network, so I had to hunt for it. In the meantime, I was recording the game, and everybody else that was recording the game on ESPN lost the last touchdown Tennessee made. So I want everybody listening to my voice, tweet at Greg Sankey. Tweet at Greg Sankey and complain about this crap. It's happened about 2 or 3 times to me when I'm recording a game, and that's the most unprofessional bunch of crap I've seen a multi-million-dollar company do. Unbelievable.
Thank you, Greg. I think, look, you get your game over within a 5-hour time period, though. Look, I was concerned that we weren't going to be able to clean the dome out at one point for the South Carolina game tomorrow with Virginia Tech. All the damn penalties. ESPN kept taking. John Adams, did you notice how they kept taking 4-minute spot breaks every time somebody went down? I'm sitting there going,
and
how much inventory do we have, guys, on these shows now? How much inventory? What are we doing?
I started noticing that last year. I thought timeouts were more often. There were more commercials. The timeouts seemed to run longer for commercials. I heard you bringing it up before I came on with the with these flops.
Yeah, they
got to do something about that because it's a real problem with a great game. It shouldn't. You can't. Coaches aren't going to clean it up. You can forget about that.
Nope.
They're going to do everything they can to improve their chances of winning games. They will bend the rules, break them if they can get away with it, whatever. That's what they do. They're super competitive. So you've just got to make the penalties. You've got to make the penalties harsher, and you got to enforce them. I mean, but come on, that was so obvious at times. It wasn't even well acted. You could be a little more subtle, but it's certainly a problem. And that game went on forever.
Oh my gosh!
going to be a lot more games like that where a fan base is watching its team and the game is kind of in hand. This wasn't a blowout, but it was kind of so they're going to break away and go to the next game. And that's going to happen again and again all season. You can count on it.
You're exactly right. As we go back to our phones. Hey, Matt, give me your thoughts. You're there live. What did you make of Joey Aguilar, Tennessee's offense from the jump, coming out crisp and clean, and that effort they turned in 100 days into this deal? Because I find it remarkable. Live, that must have really been something to see.
Yeah, looked really good. He looked comfortable. Offensive line, kind of controlled Syracuse up front, even despite having to, move some guys around. Running backs I thought were really, really good. Don't know how good Syracuse is defensively, but Tennessee looked crisp. Tennessee was in and out of plays, didn't have, weren't running guys on late on either side.
Great. That's great.
Unlike Syracuse, who felt like they should have had 3 or 4 delay game penalties that officials kind of let them get away with, including in some really key spots. But no, I thought there's a lot to like about Tennessee offensively. You kind of look like you have a really high floor with Aguilar, which is good because he's kind of a 60-year guy, and you kind of hoped his experience would pay off, and it did. And now the question will be what's going to be the ceiling with him. Offensively, we'll see how much that carries you. But loved how much they used 12 personnel, especially early in the game. It was really cool to see the tight ends get involved like they did. They used them probably more in 12 today than they have in any previous game under Heupel. But then defensively, obviously, you have a lot of issues to clean up. But the main thing is you're just banged up and injured throughout your defense in all 3 levels. And that's a major concern of mine. Probably my biggest, takeaway coming out of the game is just you're 1 game in and you've got a bunch of injuries. Luckily, the only good thing is you're injured at spots you actually have a lot of depth in, especially your defensive line, which that's probably the only unit, and maybe your corners are the only units that you can really have, injuries throughout. And that's unfortunately already kind of popping up here 1 game into the season.
The irony too, you talk about just the fact that the tight ends and going into 12. Last year they did it against NC State, and we were like, wow, we've really found something here. And then they did it as the season unfolded because they had to. I have a feeling that the tight ends have to be featured more when we get into SEC football games, right? From a pass-catching perspective, Matt. Today they had what I call it almost like a perfect type opener, because they had the freedom to do what they wanted to do offensively with the team across from them. Do you see it that way?
Yeah. You could kind of dictate how you wanted the game to go. I mean, you got up 17-0, so you were never really threatened the rest of the way. It's interesting with the tight ends because they don't throw to them a whole lot, but they are really, really involved in the run game. And probably a lot more than people realize. They move those guys around so much. They're a very vital part of the offense, even though they don't necessarily catch a lot of passes. But they did look that way in the red zone. So, because someone got that touchdown late on that RPO.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. The thing about Joey Aguilar, our fans are going to pick on him because he's a high thrower on intermediate routes. Hey, John, when you're 6 years into your career, and you're known as a guy that's a high ball thrower on intermediate routes, guess what you are? You're a guy that's a high ball thrower on intermediate routes. I don't know how much that improves. I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news for everybody, but I mean, there's a reason why that guy was available when 100 days to go. Doesn't mean.
Yeah, well, I was impressed by the way he extended plays and can make plays when things broke down. The 1 touchdown to start Thomas was that was really impressive and something we hadn't really heard about him. That really stood out. Is probably, besides the deep shots, was probably the most impressive thing he did.
The touchdown pass to Thomas where he improvises around the goal line was a beautiful thing to see. Just a absolutely keep your head up, beautiful thing to see. But John, his accuracy, this guy's known as being somebody who struggles throwing intermediate balls, which he did today. And that's okay. I'm going to live with that, John, as long as we make a deal here. As long as you get me 1 or 2 deep balls per game like he did today, I can live with that. I'll be able to live with that.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's no perfect quarterback out there. So everybody's got strengths and weaknesses. Ideally, as a play caller, you play to your quarterback's strengths and try to minimize his weaknesses. So, yeah, and I'm sure team scouting Tennessee, that's what they'll look for. Tennessee will do the same thing with other quarterbacks. What's really striking to me about we're just starting in this season. And I thought about this in preseason too. Some of the best teams in this league, you're not sure about their quarterback. I wasn't sure what Alabama's quarterback, Ty Simpson, would do.
Yep.
I wasn't sure what Gunnar Stockton would do with Georgia. And those are 2 overall pretty talented teams.
How about Arch Manning? And Arch Manning's another one, John.
Yeah, but I think Arch Manning has all the talent in the world.
He was awful.
I don't make much of what happened.
He was
today.
Horrendous today. Okay, he was horrendous.
Well, I recorded the game.
We've dubbed him
and watched it all.
Well,
but Ohio State's very talented.
He was
know
bad.
that. Was he missing throws?
Oh, he was bad.
I didn't see. I just saw the score.
When you see it, it's going to freak you out because he didn't look comfortable.
Was he bad, or was Texas's offense overall bad?
No. Matt,
did he bring them down,
Matt,
or did they not run the ball?
Matt,
or
he
anything?
he was not comfortable in their offense, and he was afraid to let it go till late in the game. It was very strange.
He's playing an elite defense on the road.
They're extremely good. But he didn't look like a third-year player, a guy in his third year in college that's waited his turn. He did not look ready for that today. It was very strange. But to your point, John, all these guys, every team has issues. Joey Aguilar, somebody called him a gamer earlier. I don't think there's any doubt that's true. And Watson Brown sent me a thing. He said, Tony, from a coach's eyes, I can tell you right now, those kids on that team have already bonded with him, and they love him. And he said, you can feel and sense the chemistry that those kids have with him. Matt, I want to ask you something, then we go back to the phones. Jennifer Morris just dropped a 50 burger on our collection we're taking up here over on YouTube for Ben McKee. And she says the following: tell us more about Star Thomas, and much love to Ben McKee. Live, somebody made the point, Matt, that each of those backs gave the Vols a little something different. What did you make of Star Thomas's contributions today?
I thought he looked really good. Kind of getting extra yards after contact, carrying piles. Had good speed. A little bit bigger than I thought he'd be. I thought he was impressive. Deshaun Bishop was I thought by far the best back and kind of had some explosive plays. That play before the half, when Syracuse had cut it and he kind of turned a tackle for loss into like a 40-yard run was impressive.
Mm-hmm.
The third down screen to him early in the game was just a great play call, a great design. I thought he looked really good, ran hard. I'm not sure he's got great top end speed, but I think you've got 3 guys that can complement each other well. The only kind of concern is you kind of rotate them every series, so you don't get a guy into a rhythm. I do think you need kind of a feature back or a number 1 guy that you can lean on, like when you in those must-have situations, and hopefully that develops at some point this year. But the running game was, I thought, outstanding, and obviously the offensive line was really good and played a lot better than I thought they would, given the circumstances and how they had to move guys around. But Star Thomas was good. All of them were good.
To a point of a couple of our callers earlier in the show, if that offensive line with David Sanders would have gone out there and performed well today, we would have said that's very impressive. When they're missing David Sanders and they had to destabilize 3 positions because of it, And they go right out there, and they play that crisply, that cleanly, not a bunch of holds, not a bunch of false starts. I mean, that is a remarkable level of execution in a Division I football game. It just is. It's extremely impressive. I'm going to go back to our phones. And remember, we're live today. We're live Friday. Calhoun's on the river. Al Wilson's going to be with us. It's going to be unbelievable. On the eve of the ETSU game, just to show you how crazy college football is, a guy who I want to say, started in college football around the same time that Joey Aguilar, in Cade McNamara, is going to be the starting quarterback for ETSU when they come in here next week. That is correct, Matt, and that is the same guy that beat out Joe Milton, yes or no, several years ago at Michigan.
He didn't beat him out, but he took the job from him during the season, during the COVID season.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy that took over as Michigan starter for Joe Milton. So, yeah, he's got plenty of experience. Was at Michigan and then Iowa. Somehow he still has eligibility, which I'm not quite sure how. But
and John, John,
for him.
Yeah, you have an assignment, John, on Tuesday. Sure, good for him. You have an assignment on Tuesday, John. When you watch that Texas tape, I can't wait to hear what you think of how Arch Manning played, because it blew my mind. It blew my mind how badly he played today. No offense to him. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Tony.
You go.
What's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, brother?
Can y'all get a Titans Bill on the back line to call in? I need a Tomahawk Chop chant.
How about Florida State right now and the job they're doing on Bama? Really interesting football game.
Well, it looks like the rain's pushed through. Yeah, your boy Squirrel White laid out for one. That was a pretty nice catch.
Yes, sir. I'm with Sean Sinclair. Yeah, he jumped. He actually jumped and caught a ball. Hey, listen, I'm with Sean Sinclair. Martavius French was very good last night for Colorado in a loss. I want to see all these guys that transfer, because the guys that transfer in, you cheer for them. Why can't you cheer for the guys that transfer out? That's why I'm going to be watching Utah and UCLA tonight and hoping that Utah folds Nico up literally like a lawn chair.
Like an accordion.
Yeah, like an accordion. And I got a feeling when I hear Kyle Winningham bragging on his defense the way that he is, I have a feeling that's going to happen tonight as well.
Well, I thought that game was at Utah, but it's being played in California?
Correct. It's an 11 o'clock Eastern start in front of about 30,000 people. It's going to be unbelievable.
Yeah, I'll have to get a nap in before that. Hell, I was going to get a nap in waiting on hold to get to you, brother.
I heard that, brother.
Listen, Joey Football is the next Dalton Connect, bro. That's who he is. He's going to make another guy go in the top of the NFL draft. Nico was a young buck. This guy's an old, what we say is an old head. That's who Joey Football is. He's an old head.
I'd like to see this guy just be a functioning Southeastern Conference quarterback that we can celebrate at the end of the year. That's my goal. I'm not worried about Dalton Connect stuff. But as I told you yesterday, Sammy, I love how you're drunk on optimism and, shall we say, other things that come from plants. And I'm for it, not against it. But just be careful in the state of South Carolina, because I've seen Danny Brown on Live on Patrol, and he can smell it from miles away, brother.
Well, listen, contrary to your belief, I did not wake and bake this morning. My backyard looks like Augusta National.
Nice!
I cut some grass, had a few Bloody Marys, a few Imperial IPAs, and just watched Joey Football out there just absolutely drop a dime to my boy Staley. And he was being pressured, by the way, on that throw, and he stood in there and just dropped an absolute dime. Tony, I'm telling you, brother. And listen, first off, shout out Ben. Get well, brother. You're gonna beat this. Shout out the Vol Network. I listened to the pregame while I was cutting grass.
Yep.
Swain and Foster are absolutely. Is Andy in there?
It's
unbelievable, brother.
Andy.
It's unbelievable, man. Their coverage is just fantastic. Tony, Jason, and them were talking about all these young heads and the players they have, and they're so excited to see. We saw it today with Hood. I mean, just so many others. Listen, this Heupel's fine, man. Now, they did take their foot off the gas in the third quarter, and that's to be expected, I guess. But they have to learn to balance that stuff out. The running back, I told you Bishop would go for $175. It was a group effort, but I tell you, Star Thomas. I mean, they have a three-headed monster back there that it's going to be very, very hard to stop.
I think Matt's got a really good point. And, Sammy, thank you, brother. I love you. If we go back to our phones at 865-200-5402, I wonder when they get into, like, real contests, real, like, sweat-them-out games, if they go to the hot hand. And I wonder who ultimately ends up getting the gig, so to speak. But let's go back to the phones on a day where Tennessee showed a lot on offense and got a lot of guys beat up on defense. But let's hello and welcome into our next call. I think you're going to see a ton of 12 against Georgia as we go to our next call. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, what's going on, brother?
Josh, welcome in, brother.
I'm watching this FSU-Bama game. This Castellanos, man, he's electric, dude.
He's not afraid.
They got him on suicide watch down in Tuscaloosa right now, Tony.
Yeah, he's what you call not afraid in that spot.
The Gus bus has hit Tallahassee. I don't know, Tony. I was pretty pleased with the game. It looked more like an old school Heupel offense where the quarterback can make some plays with his feet, wide receivers stretching the field, physical running game. And I thought we went a lot faster, especially in the first half. It was kind of impressive. I was really impressed with the running backs, like people's talked about. And the Hood kid, I think, the NFL cornerback, Tony, he's a dog. I gave Martinez hell when he was here earlier, but those cornerbacks are they play as physical as anybody in the league, and it's pretty impressive.
Hey, Matt, jump in there on that because he's exactly right. The corner play was great today.
Yeah, I thought Hood was outstanding, really good. Yeah, he was by far the best player in the secondary today. You're blitzing McMurray a lot from that star spot. Blitzed him a lot more than they had, last year. Ricky Gibson, I don't think played after the first quarter. Obviously, McCoy is out. And then Ty Redmond, who basically started the last three quarters, got hurt in the fourth. So that's concerning. But no, I thought Colton Hood looked like a stud out there. He was really, really good. And then obviously Boot Carter a little bit of run, but I'll save my thoughts on that for later in the show.
Uh-oh.
My observations of him on the sidelines.
All right.
Robinson was impressive up front, but I think they leaned on us where we were injured up front, and the defense just had to play so many snaps. I think we may have a little false impression of who we are defensively. I know the biggest play in the game, Tony, was when we turned it over, and it's kind of just similar to Oklahoma last year. Next play, man.
They got it right back.
Sack.
Yep.
Scoop and score.
Yep.
I don't know. I went into this year thinking we weren't as good as what I saw today. So that's a good thing for me. So
yeah, it's hard.
Know.
It's hard for me, Josh, to gauge what Tennessee is because they played a team that's got a win total of 4.5 out of the ACC. And that's what.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, and that's what Syracuse looked like to me. They look like really, Tennessee should have blown them out and had them blown out. And then you look up and it's a 12-point game at one point because the game just drug on and on and on and on and on. And I thought it was never going to end there. And they almost tripped and got back in the game.
Oh,
it almost got crazy.
Oh, wow.
Well, Tony, I'm gonna get my old Dobbins Bennett Indian helmet out with the same logo as the Florida State Seminoles, and I'm gonna drink a cold platinum beer. And here we go down the sideline. Oh my God, Tony! Suicide watch.
Hey Matt,
go Bighorns!
Hey Matt, are they gonna be on this head coach down there after?
Tone, I give you crap a lot for some of your takes.
Yeah.
But major props to you for putting the Basilio kiss of death on the Gumps this year. If you did that for Alabama and Ty Simpson, you did that all summer.
No question. And I still think
props to you playing 3D chess there, Tone.
I still
rarely do, but you did there.
I had them in the playoffs, and maybe I still do. John, do you still have Alabama in the playoffs after watching this?
No.
No?
They're not making the playoffs. No.
Is it too soon to throw the baby out with the bathwater? I mean, it's his first game.
No, it's just the first game. But the fact that Florida State, with all the changes it's made,
yes,
I knew it would be much better. That 2-win season for Florida State was it was an aberration. Everything went wrong.
Yes.
But it added a lot of players. It's still not – it's not like Alabama's playing a good Clemson team. And Florida State is just dominating this game.
They're literally
and I don't see – I wondered about Alabama going into this season the same way I wondered about them last year.
Yes.
Did they have enough playmakers? Ryan Williams can make plays. He did it in the first half of the season last year and then kind of just went away. Jalen Milroe, their very athletic quarterback, could make plays in the running game, but he also had some really poor games passing-wise.
Yeah.
We saw it against Tennessee. Ty Simpson has had a lot. He's had chances to win this job.
He's getting swallowed in this game.
Yeah, and see, Georgia's going kind of through the same thing. They're playing Gunnar Stockton. Gunnar Stockton, there's something about him. Maybe not the most talented guy, but he brings something. He brings that kind of Aguilar attitude, I think, to a game. He can impact a game. And, I really wonder. I know it's just one game, but for Alabama to look this inept.
Oh, those fans down there, to Matt's point, and what Josh just said, you talk about being up a guy's rectum. I mean, they got so many proctologists in that state right now, Matt, and their fan base. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And Sam Schrock said,
really, really bad loss. Really bad. I mean, it's not like John said, it's not like they're playing at Clemson tonight. I mean, they're playing at Florida. I mean, they were 14-point favorites like Tennessee.
14-point favorites. And by the way, Sam Schrock just said, 17. I bet 11.5 with the Vols a month ago at VIP play when they put the odds up there. He said, show me the money, Willie Heflin and VIP play, which brings me here. My friends at VIP play want to remind you that with football season here, they're flat out on their game because direct deposit via debit card and Apple Pay are now available to users. Today, I had a fun play up there, and if you took it, you won, and we're going to keep doing it during the entire football season. I had the first half line. I had the Tennessee team total over, and I had Tennessee on the line on the 13.5 to win the game. And I'm going to tell you, that was easy. Man, this betting thing is easy. And it's a lot of fun over at VIP Play because you can go claim your VIP Play welcome bonus. First bet $5 or more, you get $100 in bonus bets instantly. The promo code is TNTony. They've got a specials tab up there where they'll have special bets on the Vols, on the Titans as the year goes on. Some of this SEC action. They had a really fun game on Thursday night with the MAC teams that were involved in the Thursday slate. They had a really fun play on Thursday night as well. If any of the teams went over 50, you won. I mean, just fun stuff like that, just to kind of keep you engaged. And of course, today I had a three-legger parlay with the Vols, an SGP, so to speak, in 200 leagues, live always, the U.S. Open, anything in the PGA Tour, UFC back in action next week, and all the college football you can stand. Numerous bet types, props, options, you name it. VIP, where everybody gets treated like a VIP. And if you have a gambling problem, 800-889-9789, 21 and over in the state of Tennessee to place a bet. And let's go back to the phones. And Matt's right. I jocked Ty Simpson the entire offseason, and he is literally getting hammered, just like Arch Manning did. The entire SEC is not looking very good right now here in these early season games. But as somebody said earlier in our YouTube chat, I don't care. As long as my team looks good, I don't give a damn what the SEC does. No offense to Greg Sankey. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, it's David Ackworth.
Hey, David Ackworth. Welcome in.
Hey, guys. So my son and I got to go to the game today, and just a few observations. First off, boy, lots of empty seats. I tell you, I think there's some neutral site fatigue out there amongst the ball fans, or probably fans in general. But I was a little surprised at the large number of empty seats, especially in the upper deck, but even on the Syracuse side, but I was assuming even the Syracuse tickets were probably up for sale, and that whole sideline was empty. So that was a little surprising. For me, the Redmond kid, I think Hood played great, but the Redmond kid to come in there, and I think he came in when Gibson got hurt.
He did.
And they went after him immediately, and I think he probably deflected like 4 balls. He played a heck of a ball game. I mean, just a heck of a game. And, I'm trying to figure out who he is, because I'm not sure I've ever heard of him.
Hey, Matt, when they're picking on you the way they did Redmond, who went out today in the game, and he had 4 total tackles as well as several pass breakups, as David Ackworth is talking about. He's accredited officially with 2, but he was thrown at several times. He really acquitted himself well, did he not?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he more than held his own. Yeah, he looked like he can contribute and help you immediately. I mean, obviously you're going to need him throughout the season, but no, I thought he held up pretty well. Did a nice job there.
And they continue to
stood out. Like Hood was the best of all those guys, but no, he more than held his own. He wasn't a guy that opponents can just pick on.
And the great thing is, Dave, we talked about this in the summer. They absolutely continue to hit on their secondary.
Yep.
This Tennessee team does. They've got them stacked.
What
man.
A difference!
Oh, this guy's
what a difference!
And this guy's
3-4 years, mate.
Yeah, this guy's from right down there near you in Alpharetta, and he's a freshman, and they do a nice job, a really nice job of evaling. They really do.
Yep. And what I saw today from Aguilar, that to me it was pocket presence and poise. He knew exactly when to slide out of the pocket.
Yep.
He knew he kept his head down the field. There was no panic. The pocket presence to me was very impressive. And the thing I saw that was different were these deep out and deep curls that we ran. Usually in a hypo offense, when a guy's 10, 15 yards down the field, he's going deep. He's going long. He's going for that home run ball. And we had multiple times today where that guy peeled off and came back, and it was a deep out. It wasn't, a 5 and 10 yard pattern and coming back. It was 15 and 20 and coming back. And that defensive back is in full sprint mode, thinking this guy's going deep. And Aguilar hit that play a couple of times. I thought that was a much different twist to the offense that I've seen in past years. What do you think about that? Did you notice that? I thought that was a wrinkle that we haven't seen before.
Hey, Matt, your thoughts, because somebody asked me earlier about some of the new wrinkles we saw in the offense. It looked like they had a couple. They sort of debuted them in the first drive of the game, a few of the different wrinkles. Matt, do you agree with Dave that was something we saw?
Yeah, it's been missing the last 2 years. They did it a lot with Cedric Tillman when Hooker was the quarterback. It's one of those choice routes where if the corner bails, you can just turn around and you have an easy completion. So but it had gone away the last couple of years, whether that's personnel or I don't think you blocked well enough in pass protection last year to let those types of longer routes develop. But it was there when our offense was humming under Hendon Hooker, and it's good to see that. It looks like it might be coming back, but no, it's a good observation because it was certainly that those intermediate stuff were just missing in last year's passing game.
Hey, Dave, if somebody wants to tell me with a straight face that this guy that we just got in a shotgun marriage with, as John said earlier, this guy's a better fit for our offense than Nico ever was. I don't know how that is. I don't know how that is. I don't pretend to know how that is or how that works. That's just really weird. That kid looked really comfortable in our offense today. And again, he's not going to make all the throws. He's not going to be perfect because that's kind of the book on him. He's going to miss some intermediate throws. He's going to throw some balls high. He is just going to do that. But that throwing the ball long thing and that feel for what he was doing today, you can't fake that, man. You just can't fake it.
No. And I thought, and I'm going to say this, Tony, I'm going to allow the kid to possibly get better as the season goes along. Now that Heupel's seen that, he throws that ball a little high on some of those I'm not so sure Heupel can't coach that out of him a little bit too. As the season goes on, we'll see how that looks because that was the first time we've really seen him under pressure, under a game style and let Heupel go to work. The other thing, Tony, and you were 100% right. That place, and Matt, maybe you can attest to this. That stadium died this afternoon in the second half with all those guys going down with fake injuries. That place, it turned into an orange and white game until late when we tried to put it away with that one drive. I mean, for the most of the third quarter and half the fourth quarter, it was completely dead silence in there.
How can anybody
they've got to stop this?
How can
stop it?
You're so right, Dave. And John, how can anybody that's at a game stay in a game where a quarter, John, lasts 90 minutes because multiple kids are laying on the ground, John? Greg earlier was mad at ESPN for cutting away. Why wouldn't you cut away from that game with the shit Syracuse was doing? You know what I mean, John?
Bama fans are wanting them to go back to it now.
I mean, I was starting to wonder, Dave, if they were going to have enough time to clean the popcorn out of the dome for tomorrow's game. I mean, if it would have gotten to 8 o'clock at night, I mean, we would have run into critical mass there. John, do you believe that Dave is right, that what they've done is not enough, that they need to, after watching that today, they need to do more? That is not going to stop this stuff against teams like Tennessee, these teams laying down this new role.
Maybe you need to start fining college coaches. They like their money.
You got to fine them a whole lot of money to make it impact
$100,000.
As much as those guys are making.
I'd fine them $100,000 every time it happens.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's talking about a real fine.
This has been a point of emphasis. The NCAA, Greg Sankey keeps stressing this, but we saw in that game, and that won't be an aberration. It's going to happen repeatedly.
No. And listen,
coaches are always going to find a way to work around a rule. If it's not airtight and you don't enforce it.
The referee at one time announced over the loudspeaker, but because the ball wasn't spotted, we can't make a ruling. He said that into the microphone, which means
it's a Big Ten crew, and they always have trouble spotting balls in a timely manner.
Well,
that crew was clueless for most of that game.
That crew,
and Heupel once again is on the short end of the officiating. And it wasn't without him arguing. I mean, he was arguing all night.
The whole night.
Didn't help at all. And then they kind of gave him that FU, giving us a sideline warning on that kickoff. That was the touchback.
That was really some Barbara Streisand.
That was
Matt.
just the officials giving Heupel an FU, saying, I don't care what you say, we're not changing.
And Dave, one thing you guys couldn't see in the stands, every time a Syracuse player faked and went down, they took a 4-minute commercial break on television. It was unbelievably bad, the middle of that third quarter. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's pretty sad when you're sitting there and it's early in the fourth quarter and the Ohio State-Texas game has already ended and it started after your game. And, and you're just it's unbelievable. They've got to fix it. And it doesn't have to be drastic. And I don't know what you can do about it. But, I would hope that at some point, they're gonna have to come to Jesus session with the ADs and tell the ADs or something that they're going to have to do something drastic, or else they're going to take extreme measures with the universities or something. I don't know, but I will say this: our laydown lineman won a dang Academy Award tonight. That guy sold that move like nobody's business. I mean, that's the best performance I've seen in 5 years from our laydown lineman. He hobbled all the way off that field, and it was impressive. So appreciate you guys. Talk to you soon.
Hey, and it's going well for Tennessee, Matt, when they get that laydown lineman out there. That's when you know Heupel football's back. Because Lampley, the last couple of years,
I'm just glad we scored quick enough to have to do it.
Exactly, because Lampley, the last couple of years, that was his role after Umeroff had it. And that poor Lampley didn't get a chance.
But Umeroff had to start today. So they might have even had to change that up pregame. So extra props to, I can't even remember who it was.
They had Umeroff. They had a laydown lineman, John, starting today. I mean, you got to love that, man.
Well, there's a certain degree of irony in that. I've got to go back to my day job, so I'm going to make an exit here.
Love you, bro. Thank you.
Matt teased us earlier. I'd kind of like to get a Boo Carter update.
Yeah, Matt, give me a Boo Carter update on his sideline demeanor. This ought to be good. Go ahead, Matt.
But he played the third series of the first half, and I think that was it. And then he played the third series of the second half and played a few more after that. But when he wasn't in the game and he knew he wasn't in the game, he was totally disengaged from everybody on the defensive side. Usually there's like 8 or 10 of those guys like that could sub in and out, that rotate in. He wasn't down there involved with those guys. Very little interaction with teammates. I just found that really strange. And I mean, well, maybe not strange, but just interesting.
Maybe not strange for him.
Yeah. Probably par for the course for him.
Well, I just watched Simpson just get crumpled up. Did you see that?
I'm telling
he's
you.
He's not getting a lot of help from Alabama. I keep hearing, I heard this last year, and I'm hearing again about how good Alabama's offensive line will be. Well, Florida State's owning that offensive line.
They're destroying them.
Their linemen are too big. Like, I think they're too big for these like undersized speed rush guys.
It does look
like it was
like
a problem last year.
It does look like Jimmy Johnson football when he was with the Cowboys and he had those speed guys. And then in the NFC East, they all had those big, huge offensive linemen. Those guys are motoring around them. Proctor is going to get him killed before this game's over, John. Did you see how nasty that hit was?
It was brutal.
I mean, his helmet turned backwards.
I mean, he could have suffered a serious injury. When you're a quarterback and under duress like that and you're getting hit and you're trying to find a way against all odds to just get the pass off, you're in a very precarious position to get hurt. And I don't think he was hurt on the play, but my gosh. And, before going, I want to give kudos to Kentucky for pulling out a tough win against Toledo. It's 24-16.
Tell you what.
It's a big win for Kentucky.
Big step for Stoops in his quest of capturing another MAC championship in their non-league schedule that they play there. Thank you, John. Good talking to you.
See you guys.
You're the best. John Adams, ladies and gentlemen, presented by Jennifer Morris.
Tonight, John.
Next move, SmokyMountains.com. The great Jennifer Morris. I thank her here on Garza Law, Fifth Quarter Fan Reaction, for presenting the great John Adams, who's absolutely outstanding. Matt Dixon in Atlanta. Brian Hartman not with us. And today on the program, C's going to stop by here in a little bit. And we're doing it with you as we go back to our phones. I want to remind you, Friday, live at Calhoun's on the river. It's going to be unbelievable. The great Al Wilson is going to be with us on Friday, and it's going to be utterly next level. For those just joining, I think that Tennessee's the way today's game unfolded and the way it went is about as good as humanly possible for this football team. I'm just beyond impressed with the way today the way Tennessee played today. I just, I mean, we're going to be able to nitpick things and talk about the defense and talk about giving, letting a team hang around and this, that, and the other. But man, that was at the end of the day, that was for an opener. When you have as many changes as this team has, when you've introduced a quarterback who's been around with you for like 100 days, that was remarkable. And that cornerback we were talking about, who Dave from Ackworth just brought up, is a kid that's 2025 kid. And, at the end of the day, he just got here 8 months ago. And they never dreamed, Matt, in that football game that kid would be out there playing real snaps. But he went out there and held his own.
Yeah. Until he had to be helped off. And then they put William Wright in, who famously was on the field late in that 2022 Bama game.
Because if loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right.
The injuries, especially on the defensive side, I think are a major concern with me. I mean, on the field, especially offensively, it went about as well as you could ask for.
Yep.
But all those injuries on defense is really concerning to me.
We're going to see exactly.
Jackson Boyd got hurt.
Yep.
Davian Hobbs is already out. I mean, even Nathan Robinson, who I thought did really well today, he was playing with like a wrapped club on his right hand. I mean, it was incredible. Arian Carter went to the locker room at one point. I mean, that's really concerning. You've got an SEC schedule coming up.
Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on our Garza Law fifth quarter fan reaction presented by Marcos Garza and your Garza Law firm. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Tony.
Yo.
What's going on? It's Jake from Rockwood.
Hey, Jake. Welcome in.
Hey, how's it going? Hey, you said a little bit earlier about nitpicking, so I'll leave this question short. The secondary looked a little weak today. What do you think we can do about that? The other question I have is, after Alabama's and Texas' performance today, what teams do you see possibly making the college football playoff from the from the SEC?
Oh, look, I still think Texas is a team you got to look at to make the college playoff out of the league. And as far as Alabama goes, there have been a lot of teams that have thrown up stinkers in week one that have come back and played their way into it. The problem now is that Alabama's going to have to navigate this league. If they can't get out of this hole here, they're going to have to navigate this league at 10-1 from here. And that's not going to be easy. That is just not going to be easy for them. See, because you're really, Matt, can a 3-loss Alabama team make a playoff? They didn't do it last year. I mean, could they not punish them for playing this game, Matt? Could the committee do that?
I mean, well, if they'd probably have to be 10-2 the rest of the way. If they go 10-2, that would mean they probably are in Atlanta playing for the SEC championships. They could, I think, if they're in that, the two teams that are in Atlanta for that are always going to make the playoffs.
See, that's a really good point.
But I would just the way that they look
awful.
I mean, they just like, where are the dudes at? Like, where are the guys that just stand out when you just watch random plays and you're like, that guy's going to play in the NFL, or whoa, I can't. There's nobody that can block that dude, or like they just don't have a lot of those.
And to your point, Rockwood, we're 4 minutes left in the third quarter, and Williams has 4 targets on the day and has like 27 yards. This is not, or 37 yards. This is not the way this was supposed to look.
And you also got to think about a committee that loves Florida State too.
Oh yeah, exactly.
But I just wanted Tony's too early to tell take on that. I'll hang up and listen to the rest. Appreciate all you do. Thanks,
Thank
Tony.
you, brother. In terms of secondary, man, when you're rotating that many bodies in and out, I'll tell you who was good today, Matt. Was their star nickel who they like a lot. Farouk did a nice job out there today, Matt, I thought. Now, he had his moments. Everybody had their moments. My need area and my worry on the defense in the summer leading up to this was always linebacker. And today is no exception. I'm worried about our linebacking core. But that's, no defense is going to be perfect.
No, the linebackers, especially in coverage and when you can make them play sideline to sideline, can kind of get lost and beat. Arian Carter seems to run himself out of plays occasionally by being too aggressive. Didn't think we set the edge very well, especially when Syracuse was running like to the left. It seemed like they could bounce everything outside and have holes. But the linebacking is a concern. They played a bunch of guys there. I think they probably played 5 or 6 throughout the game. And I think some of Syracuse's drives, that their scoring drives there in the second and third quarters came when we initially started with backups in those spots. I think your safeties are maybe average at best. I do think that's a concern, but if you get McCoy back and Gibson, who I never heard anything about him. He just was never out there after the first couple
quarter
of series.
Yeah, first quarter, right.
Get those guys back, then you can kind of see what you have. I don't know if they'll be able to play more man this year than zone. They play like 80% zone last year. I assume it will probably be similar to that, but I don't think you're great defensively on the back end when you don't get home with blitzes or just your front four.
Speaking of which, Florida State, Ty Simpson just dropped back to pass, and I mean the interior of Alabama's offensive line. I'm gonna describe this to you. It got folded up like a damn cheap suit, and he got thrown to the ground. He is getting physically hammered. Okay? There are car accidents that will take place tonight that won't leave a person as sore as he's going to leave this football game. Matt, this guy is taking a physical beating in this football game.
And it looks like just like they got into last year where they basically abandoned the running game.
Yes.
That's what they did. Last year they had almost no running game besides Milrow. And they just never attempted it as much as I thought they should. And especially with Simpson, who's obviously struggling.
Not a runner, right?
They can't get anything on the ground. I know their starters out, but they're supposed to be 2 and 3 deep in those spots.
They had 55 yards.
He's been put in awful situations.
They had 55 yards rushing in their first drive, which was a touchdown when they were right down the field. Since then, they've had 2 yards rushing. They're getting their lunch handed to them. Now, look, they still have a shot to get back in this thing, and college football is a crazy game. But, man, through 2 quarters and 12 minutes, they look about as bad as humanly possible from an Alabama perspective and an elite SEC perspective. You want to look as good as possible when you walk into Neyland Stadium next week, or when you show up at Calhoun's on Friday with the great Al Wilson as we do our show live there, because no one does it like Alumni Hall. I'm just going to tell you that. Nobody. Listen, one place, the best shop for all your Tennessee gear, and it's Alumni Hall. The best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Nike, Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar, you name it, they've got them. Load up on your hats. Load up on your accessories. Yeti, all your tailgating necessities. Load it up. Load them up. And you know what else you can do? Download Alumni Hall's app. Click on your account. It'll tell you how much Hall cash you've earned. $10 in rewards for every $150 you spend. Locations in Murfreesboro, Bristol, 3 in Knoxville, now open in Johnson City. Pop into Alumni Hall and get game ready and tell them that Bacilio sent you. As Ty Simpson just got hammered on that drive twice. And Blake Gold, their punter, is going to spend he'll be getting out of his ice bath on Tuesday at this rate.
Damn it.
I mean, good God. And there's her turnover. You heard Matt.
Of course, Tennessee got one today, too, and they didn't give it to us.
Yes, they did.
Ridiculous.
Yes, they did.
I thought it hit the guy twice.
It hit him in his towel, and it hit him on his heel. But other than that,
and that's the break the Gumps needed right there.
We'll see. Lucas, who's a kid that made a great catch for them on their last touchdown drive, just had a ball hit him. He called for a fair catch, and I'll describe it to you. He stumbled and got away from it, and the ball clicked and hit the turf and bounced right off his lower extremity. He had no chance on that play. Hello and welcome into our next call. So Bama's got it. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. They're on the 45-yard line of Florida State, and they've got life now. I don't know that they can do anything with it, though, to be really honest with you. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. Mike in Portland.
Hey, Mike. Good to talk to you.
It's been a minute or two. Just a couple of things. I think I'm very hopeful after seeing today's game. I thought Tennessee would win, but I didn't think they would cover. I sent you that. I was wrong, and really wrong. By the way, the YouTube channel is awesome, by the way. And I think Aguilar has a higher ceiling than maybe we're giving him. I thought I saw him nervous. It seemed like he got more comfortable. And I think he can move up a little bit of a level. I think that's a hopeful deal. This is a big game. SEC defenses, speed of game, speed of our offense. I'm very hopeful about this. I was very pleased with that. And I am going to watch the UCL game because that'll be prime time in Oregon to watch that. So
I think Joey football looks really comfortable in Tennessee's offense, which, I mean, coming into the year, who knew? The unknown of all this stuff. Now that you see it and you get a feel for it, and you get a feel for who he is and what he is, it does have to give you some hope, man. It really does.
And he has a better coaching. He's going to have excellent coaching that he never had before at Appy State, much less UCLA, for God's sake. So I think there's a chance for an upside. He may never be Hendon Hooker, and he certainly won't be a five-star, but I think I'm very hopeful about this deal. I was a little disappointed in the defense, but they were tired. They got hurt. Maybe they're reading their press clippings a little bit too much, but I'm very helpful about that. Oh, Tony, and by one thing, the cigars are on the way. I've been remiss in getting some victory cigars, some good victory cigars to you guys.
Let's celebrate.
That'll happen in the next 10 days.
Let's celebrate, brother.
Amen. That's exactly right.
You're the man, Mike.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you, brother.
Go Timbers. Take care.
Go Timbers. There you go. He's out there with the Portland Timbers. Those of you that know. Ty Simpson threw it in the end zone to Williams. They interfered with him on the first play. Alabama's now moved the ball deep. It threw the ball in the end zone, I should say. Alabama now has the ball deep in Florida State territory. And we love these watch-alongs while we're doing your Garza Law fifth quarter fan reaction. And, weekend one, there's just so many great games. There's so much fun stuff. We've got Clemson LSU later tonight. It does not hurt my feelings if the tough weekend for the SEC continues. Matt, do you echo that with me? Or do you want to see the SEC stand tall today?
No, I want all the teams that I hate to lose. I mean, I want Alabama to lose every game they ever play. Florida, Georgia, obviously. LSU, I don't really have a hatred towards.
I don't either.
Kind of go either way there.
I don't either.
I'm not really a fan of Auburn, but it feels like it's good. It helps Tennessee. It is good because Bama and Georgia kind of are a notch down when Auburn's better. But no, I'm not for the whole SEC pride thing. That's I've never really cared for that.
It's really interesting.
I'm turned it over on downs.
Simpson's
not comfortable at all.
No, and he could have run for a first down there, but he looks like he's gun shy at this point.
Which and going off our caller's point about the coaching that Aguilar's getting, I'd be really interested to know how they approached him and all this, getting him ready, because as we've talked about, he was really, really comfortable today.
Yep.
Did they overload him, or did they kind of maybe back it off and keep things really simple to help him kind of ease into it? And that is how they'll grow throughout the season, because I think last year with Nico, especially post that Oklahoma game, it just felt like they were overcoaching and overdoing things with him. And he was – the game just never slowed down at all for him in a way. It looked like it was for Aguilar today. And obviously his experience helped. But I'd be curious to know how much they actually put on his plate versus maybe what they've had the last couple of years with their quarterbacks.
Back to our phones we go. It's Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. Alabama's defense is starting to get off in this game a little bit, which is something that may aid them in getting back into this thing. Hello and welcome in to our next call. You're on the air.
Tony, is Madison in Texas?
Hey,
I'm gonna
Madison.
go ahead and take my victory lap on old Aguilar. Looks pretty good today. I thought the fumble on the play action fake in the first quarter, that's inexcusable. That'll get cleaned up. I think that's just offense being a little bit rusty. Obviously, he's only been in the offense for 3 months, but I thought it looked really good today, guys. And when we look at the SEC, defense was fine. I thought that Syracuse team was, had a decent offense, and feeling pretty good right now, guys. How are y'all feeling?
I don't think coming out of an opener, I don't think you could feel any better about what the way Tennessee looked offensively today. That's where I'm at. So I'm not gonna jump the gun. From the standpoint of proclaiming greatness for Joey Aguilar, that he looked comfortable in the offense today, that his teammates seemed to respond to him, is enough for me. The reason I'm not going to jump the gun on him is that he didn't play against a Southeastern Conference team today. He played against kind of a middle bottom Syracuse defense today that athletically is just not very good. So I'm going to wait and see. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that Matt called him a high floor guy. I think that's right. I think he gives Tennessee a high floor after watching him today. What the ceiling is, as Matt said earlier, who knows? But they're going to be fun to watch, and he's a fun quarterback. He's a good quarterback.
I mean, he likes to throw it around. I think this offense really doesn't ask too much from the quarterback. I just need you to be able to throw the deep ball. I need you to be able to read the play and see what the best the best choice is to go, whenever you need to throw it. And honestly, guys, I mean, I think he fits that. I don't think Hendon Hooker was a world beater when he was here. He just ran the offense, and it makes it easier for the quarterback. And, guys, I think this guy could be pretty good. I think there were some things on defense that I was hoping would be a little bit better. Thought Carter looked a little bit lost at certain points, and I was hoping for a little bit more from him.
Yeah.
But all things considered, couldn't be happier with the way we looked today. We covered the spread, and happy Vol fan here.
Outside of the one mesh turnover, Tennessee didn't come close to turning the ball over in that game. I didn't see Matt, where Joey Aguilar was close to throwing an interception. Did you?
No, that's what I've said all summer. Heupel's offense kind of takes
it out.
High-risk throws out of the equation because you throw it to guys that are open or already open. This offense doesn't ask the quarterback to throw guys open necessarily. So no, it's a good point, but I mean, there's just not a lot of high risk throws that you make in just running this offense.
I thought it was just a phenomenal, fantastic way to go. So, anything else for us in Dallas?
Tony, appreciate the time.
Yes, sir.
Look forward to the season. I do think that Bama will respond, guys. I mean, they're not going to go 6-6 this year. Same with Texas. Tough defense today. I thought Arch was was fine. The protection wasn't great. The receivers dropped a lot of passes. Texas will respond as well, but with our schedule, guys, I don't know why we won't think the sky's the limit. And we got a good quarterback. We got a quarterback that'll run the system.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the season. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Love y'all. Great show.
Love you, bro.
And Marcos Garza. Don't trust these carpetbaggers. Go with Marcos Garza.
Boom! All the way from Dallas, from his lips to God's ears. Matt, the schedule is easy, and the Syracuse team is, part and parcel of that. And we're going to watch these other teams as they take the field and see what everybody has. It's extremely interesting. I mean, Alabama, you would think right now, if you want to overreact today and call the Alabama game highly in play, do you want to do that, Matt? You want to call the Alabama game highly in play in light of what we saw from us and from them today?
There's a lot of football that's got to be played until then.
That's my thing.
I'm not going to do that. It's interesting that they've looked this bad.
It's very interesting.
And offensively, because that's their strength is DeBoer and Ryan Grubb, who that was the whole talk all offseason was they got Ryan Grubb back, and they look worse this year than they were last year.
They're having trouble blocking at the point of attack.
It's always fun. The fun storylines that you talk about all summer, like Auburn looked really good against Baylor, I thought. And the talk was they have this elite receiving core, but nobody to throw the ball to them. Well, they basically ran the ball down Baylor's throat for 4 quarters. Didn't even attempt to throw many. So it's always fun. Today's game, the over almost hit in the first half, which I never saw coming.
No. It is such a great sport. And it's an ever-changing sport. And let's go back to our phones. 865-200-5402. I'm sure there's some callers that have been here a while. Joshy Boy was telling me, listen, I'm not feeling my best, and I'm trying to take these things in order, and I know I'm all out of whack today, so I'm doing my best over here. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, this is Gary.
Hey, Gary. Welcome in, brother.
Hey, I am on 75 North right now, Tony. Just came through the beautiful city of Chattanooga.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. You've been keeping us company the whole way. I appreciate that.
Nice.
That was my first time ever stepping foot in the Mercedes-Benz Dome. That's a pretty cool place, ain't it, Matt?
Matt Dixon.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up a little bit. The Dome, it's a great venue, and the really cheap concessions are a nice welcome.
Danny had to be getting the cold shakes over that.
Tony, what was the deal with David Sanders? I never heard what happened to him or what's the deal. Why did he not play?
He got hurt Wednesday in practice. They thought they were through it, thought he could go. He got up today and essentially told them he couldn't go.
Okay. Well, other than that, I thought overall especially the first half, you got to be pretty happy with the performance of our offense and the performance of our defense when they had their full complement of players there like they did in the first half. Now, things kind of got a little out of hand and got a little wiry there in the second half with all the injuries and all the laydowns and all that. The text of the day with our text thread, one of our guys said, with all these cramps going on the field, I sure hope I can make it back to my car without cramping up.
It's embarrassing. I mean, and here's the other thing, right? You're a 22-year-old kid cramping indoors. It's not like you're out in 100-degree weather. The referee should say to those kids, get up off the floor. Have you guys ever watched in like world-level soccer how an official will go over to a guy and say, get up, you're faking, get up, get up, get up. You should embarrass those guys. Because it is embarrassing.
Tony, I think, and Matt, tell him, I mean, it was not hot in there today. It was very comfortable. You can feel the cool air blowing on you even a couple of times.
I mean, come on, guys.
Hey, I'm very happy, though. I'm happy with Joey and Joey football and the offense. And I love the fact that they called a couple design runs for him as well. Like, just, one or two times a half, run the ball, let him run the ball. If it's 3rd and 4, let him go get 5 yards and keep a drive going, and then do something else afterwards. I love that about our offense, and I love the fact that he was able to do that.
Well,
Tony, I'm breaking up on you, so I'm gonna let you go.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, he's more than a willing runner. He got some balls to him. If we go back to our phones at 865-200-5402. Alabama's on the move right now, as they're deep inside Florida State territory. There's 11:51 to play in that football game. They go to a break. That's still anybody's ball game. As we go back to our phones, if you want to get in, 865-200-5402. Again, 865-200-5402 is our number. And I'm getting all choked up in here. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Tony, I wish John was still on. I can't wait to hear him after he watches the Texas.
My gosh, man!
From that game.
Listen, people that didn't see it.
It wasn't just Ohio State's defense.
No, Arch Manning was bad, and he's overrated.
Putrid.
He's overrated.
It was.
That's what he is.
It was one-hoppers to open receivers with clean pockets a bunch.
Bad.
The 3rd and 5 before the last play of the ball game when he threw to the tight end on 4th down. The 3rd and 5, he's got a clean pocket. The receiver's open, going to walk for the 1st down, and he throws it a yard and a half behind him and high. It was bad quarterback play, way more than it was Ohio State's defense.
Did you see Mark Schlereth's tweet?
No, I'm going to go look it up, though.
Okay. He tweeted.
Tell me.
He tweeted, "Congratulations, Arch Manning. He has more commercials in this game than he does good throws." And I'm going to tell you something.
Even the touchdown pass, he just threw it up and prayed.
That's the truth. He was bad today, man. It was, you know what? Now I see why he didn't get on the field last year when their quarterback struggled. I'm not being funny, Rusty. That was not good.
No, you're right.
We're not being.
You're not off.
John's
there might have been a lot of legend. He might just be a Wildcat quarterback.
John's declared him a legend because he's a Manning. But I got news for you. He didn't look very good today.
And he's with the greatest coach of all time, Stark, too. I mean,
there you go.
The dials up ball plays all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, here's the telltale sign of what today should tell us. In 100 days, we had a quarterback and an offense that started going fast again when the 2 previous quarterbacks never were allowed to go hurry up. And they both had several years before they started taking snaps regularly.
Hey, Dixon, that is a pretty interesting observation, isn't it? And it's the truth.
Yeah, it is. It is. Hopefully it continues and we see that tempo continue to evolve and stay fast. Because I know we were a little fast to start last season also. No, obviously not like tonight. No, it's a really good point. I mean, he looks very comfortable and looks like a guy that's been in our offense for a while. It didn't look like it was, 100 days in.
The last touchdown drive we had, we completed a ball down to like their 20 for a 1st down on like a 2nd and 6, 2nd and 7. And I'm like, let's use some clock. And we're snapping it with 34 seconds on the play clock and go for 8 yards, handing it off. That early in the ball game, it was obvious quick. The guy got a better feel for playing the quarterback position. He's nowhere close to the athlete that the 2 previous quarterbacks were. It's obvious.
That's right.
But I think he might just be a better football player.
And you know what it's going to be interesting to watch this thing unfold is this guy looks like a really good fit for what they are trying to do offensively. I'm back to this. You don't need a world beater at quarterback to play this system effectively.
No, the 2 previous quarterbacks were better athletes and better physically gifted than Hendon Hooker even. It doesn't necessarily mean it works just because you're an incredible athlete or got an unbelievable arm, all those type of things. There's so much more that goes into it. It's understanding what you're doing, and it's being able to complete deep shots when they're there.
That's right.
And every deep shot that was thrown, the ball was thrown catchable. One of them drew a PI, the other one should have drew a PI, and the other one was a touchdown pass. Got to clean up a few things. Defensively, I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of 55 and 33 playing linebacker. as the season goes on. I think that was, Carter having cramps. But when T-Lander was in the ball game and Carter was in the ball game, defense played pretty well. Need Hobbs back quick. Need Moy back quick. Apparently Gibson's thing, from what I talked to one of my buddies, he had a concussion-like syndromes, was showing signs of that, so they took his helmet away. But apparently I think he's fine. You just need to get some guys back on defense. But they last thing for the ball game, this stat I looked up myself, Syracuse converted a first down one time in the ball game on a down less than third or fourth, meaning every first down they converted was on a third down or a fourth down except one. They were having to work at every time they moved the ball 10 yards.
Get extended.
So it wasn't as bad as everybody was letting it be. The third and 10 completions when they would go 5 wide and we would play zone, that's got to get cleaned up. You got to do something different on defense, or your guys got to be in the right spots and be in the right drops. But all in all, you're right. Game probably couldn't have went much better for a first game.
No, and the weird stretch of that game, Rusty, was when it wouldn't end in the third quarter. And you look up and you're only up 12 and you're going, oh man. I mean, everybody's kind of fallen asleep in here, including our football team. But they kind of weathered the storm there.
That quarter lasted forever. And I think we only ran we ran 7 plays in the third quarter.
Oh, it was unbelievable. It was embarrassing how slow that was.
Yeah. Yeah, but hey, all in all, tickled everybody. Brazil's got to catch open balls when they hit him between the 1 and the 7. That would be nice. I think he dropped a touchdown pass on an RPO in the second quarter, or the first quarter. Outside of that, I thought everybody played pretty much what we can expect, and we'll get after ETSU next week, and we'll talk to you soon. Love to Ben McKee. That dude is the best around, and he's going to beat this with flying colors because that's just the dude he is. And
thank you, brother.
Thanks to everybody out there that's thinking of him and pitching in for him.
Great talking to you. Yeah, we've had several people jump in and super chat today. Special thanks to Benjamin Bowen, just gave $9.99. We've raised a couple $100 on here anyway. So Laura and I are going to match whatever we get in here today. So on Ben's GoFundMe. My friends at Performance Medicine, East Tennessee's hormone expert, hormone therapy services in Kingsport, Johnson City, Bristol, West and North Knoxville. East Tennessee's most trusted experts, personalized hormone therapy for over 18 years. As you age, your hormones decline. As your hormones decline, you decline in every way. Don't decline. Also, bioidentical replacement therapy is available as well. Custom hormone treatment plans as well. And you'll improve your energy levels, enhance your mood, sleep better, increase your libido, help you with weight management, bone health. Find out more at performancemedicine.net. That's performancemedicine.net. As we get ready to go back to the phones. Matt, is Alabama back in this one in your humble opinion?
Yes, they are, unfortunately.
As they score to make it 24-17, 11 minutes and change left. And the thing that's happened in this game is that Alabama's defensive line has all of a sudden in the last 2 series gotten extremely nasty. And they're getting very physical with this Castellanos guy. And if Florida State knew it was good for them, they would get a first down or 2. Here. Tennessee with a terrific opener. David Sanders, they thought could go. He couldn't go. They ended up shifting their offensive line. And they played really well. Really well. Matt, after seeing Syracuse in person, I think their win total's 4.5. If you had to bet it after watching them today, what do they do? And then we'll go back to the phones.
They probably I don't know their schedule, but they probably go over that. But that's maybe 6 wins at most. And I don't think they're very good defensively at all. Although, we've been talking about, Aguilar only 100 days. So is their quarterback.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
And he made some nice plays, had a couple of improv plays where he avoided pressure or something. So, wasn't a total statue back there, but they've got stuff to build on. But I just don't think they have a lot of high end, P4, football players on their team.
Totally.
Quarterback was better than I thought it'd be. He was pretty decent.
Yeah, he could throw it around a little bit. The problem he has, and John Bryce was right about it, he's just a serial ball holder. I mean, he just holds the ball. And you hold the ball against us when we're getting after you, and you're going down. Hello and welcome into our next call. You are on Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. Hi.
How you doing, Tony?
Hey, Bill. Welcome in. Are you there, Bill? Your phone's not cooperating. Come off speakerphone, Bill. Bill? Bill?
Can you hear me okay, Tony?
Yeah, go right ahead.
And it's disappointed. I didn't hear Mike Keith say that toward the end, but he said, and the Volunteers will head on back to Knoxville and get ready for ETSU. I said, Mike, you're supposed to say, and the Volunteers get it done again.
No, that's for the Titans. The Titans get it done again. The Volunteers are heading back to Knoxville and getting ready for ETSU. He's got it. He did do the sack. I did hear him scream sack across the land today.
Yeah. So, the one thing I noticed, Larry Stone, was the host of the pregame show.
That's right. Larry Stone's he's in the booth now. That's right.
Yeah, he is the one that used to host the pregame shows on Titans radio.
That's him.
And of course, Ramon Foster. It seems like they brought Mike Keith and Ramon with him.
Yes, Mike brought his guys there. They, I think what they did works. I think it sounds great.
Yeah. You on your new home, you're going to be heading on over to Fan Run Radio, and I'm looking forward to listening to you, buddy.
Anything else on the game today, Billy?
Well, I'll tell you what, very impressive win. I believe, a win, Syracuse made it close, but I'll tell you something. A game like that is going to help our football team and not hurt them. That's a fact with my hand up.
Bill, all these early season games help you as long as you survive them, like this thing with Alabama, what they're going through right now. Florida State, Matt, and we'll go back to the phones, just went on a 4th and 1, Matt, on their own 31-yard line, up 7 points. Now, that's a lot of chutzpah right there, Matt.
Yes, when you're playing a team that's offense has been inept for most of the game. Luckily they got it. Thank God they got it. If they didn't give them a short field, that's exactly what they kind of need to get back in the game.
No question. I mean, that's asking for it.
Now they can drain the clock and extend, at least play field position now. And now, they get a 15-yard personal foul.
Personal foul penalty on Alabama, which is
that's never called if Saban's still on the sidelines.
Oh, he did do it. Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome into our next call. As you're on Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. Hi and welcome in.
Hey, Tony, this is Rob in Dallas. How you doing?
Hey, Rob, welcome in.
Hey, the first thing that jumped out to me was his Joey football, his calm and patience in the pocket and on the field. I mean, he looked like a quarterback, man. I mean, I went back and watched the NC State game from last year, the first game of the year, just to kind of do a compare and contrast, I did it on Friday.
Yep.
And I didn't see him get nervous. I didn't see him get happy feet. I didn't see him overthrow people, because the rush was collapsing on him. We saw overthrows, but it wasn't because people were collapsing on him. He just missed the guy, I was impressed. I'm telling you, we got a quarterback.
I don't think there's any question that he is extremely comfortable in what they're doing. And I also don't think there's any question that the kids around him believe in him and like him.
That was obvious.
You know,
I the chemistry I saw on the field,
remarkable.
It was crazy. And the next thing I know everybody's talking about the defense and stuff, but if you go back to the first half when we had our full complement of players, we dominated.
Yep.
It seems like, and Hopple does this 2 or 3 times a year, where he'll take his foot off the gas and start subbing in players and doing things when he thinks the game's in hand, and we kind of lose our mojo. And I saw that in the third quarter. And it was so funny because I don't know what series it was, but he brought T-Lander back in and brought a couple other players back in, and we just stuffed them. And it's like, don't let off. Stay on the gas until you put them away, you know? So I feel good. I think we're going to be pretty good. I don't like the zone defense. I don't like that at all. But for the most part, man, when we got after it, we got after it.
The whole idea is with him, Angeli, today, I think, was to, when you tried to get home, there were a couple times, Matt, where Tennessee brought pressure at him, and he was able to avoid it, and he made pretty nice plays downfield. But for the most part, Matt, when they dialed it up on him, they got to him.
Yeah, had a couple of linebackers blitzing up the middle on some third downs. And then we talked about the star. They blitzed McMurray a handful of times, and he created some havoc in the backfield. So all that was good to see. That was something they kind of went away from last year, I think, because they probably trusted their front four and their pass rush a little too much, and they didn't get home quite as much as they should. But when they dialed it up today, it worked, just kind of like the NC State game last year. Didn't overwhelm them that much, but it was. I mean, you kind of controlled it, especially like the caller said, when your starters were out there. So, I mean, they're never going to do anything exotic on the back end. They're kind of pretty basic defensively, and they play that too deep where they just don't allow a lot of deep stuff. But so you can kind of get picked apart if a quarterback's got time. But it kind of is what it is. It's hard to question Tim Banks with what they did last year and all the improvements they've made.
A 5-sack day, by the way, that's something they didn't do last year. Scoring with your defense, let me tell you something. That is a sign of a healthy football team when you're able to score with your defense, and many happy returns. Because you're going to need that. We're going to need that in SEC play. You need a defense that can turn the ball over and score every once in a while. That's never going to hurt you.
Hey, if you remember, Tony, I called that. I said we were going to score on defense.
There you go.
And if you go back and look at NC State's game last year, we didn't have that game in hand until I think it was Brooks that got that interception, pick six. They were actually driving on us, and he got that and scored. And then the game shifted completely. And I remember looking at that game last year and then watching it on Friday. It didn't feel like at any point in time in the game we had it in hand. And I'm going to tell you right now, 31 points in the first half. When we went to halftime, I was like, this game's over. I felt completely confident. Then, obviously, the third quarter happened, and I was like, what the hell's going on?
You know, at the end of the day, the thing I take away from today is that that was a very comfortable win, and it's a perfect opponent with which to open your season, because that team's never beating you.
No.
You know, how many times, guys, would we have had to turn the ball over for us to lose to that club? 3 or 4, Matt? Easy? At least 3, maybe 4.
On our
end, and they not have any turnovers.
And then play a clean game.
Yeah.
That's
and then, right. Yeah, you get kind of bogged down in the red zone a few times and not get touchdowns. Yeah, but no, you were up 17-0, and then early in the second half you were up 38-14.
Total cruise control.
So, the game was over. So, but you were kind of pushed a little bit.
Yep.
I feel good, man. I feel really good. I'm still calling 10-2.
Hey, listen. More power to you. I hope it happens, brother. I'd love to have another playoff run here, man. That'd be incredible.
Well, what I'm seeing with Alabama, Florida State right now, that game looks easily gettable. I think we're going to get one of the big four between Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Oklahoma. So, yeah, 10-2.
You're going to get to 10-2. You got to get two of those, though, right?
Oh, I think we're going to get two.
There you go. That's what I want to hear.
I was actually thinking. We're going to go to Florida. I think we're going to win in the swamp this year.
I was thinking you better if you're on the roads right now, you better pull over and call Uber. But thank you, brother. Good talking to you.
All right, man. See you.
So Sasquatch has ramped it up on Laura and I, who are matching here what's happening here on our YouTube chat, Matt. We just had a YouTube super chat for $99 for Ben McKee. And Sasquatch says, looking forward to another college football season. Go Vols. As Syracuse, as Florida State goes up 30-17 pending the extra point on Alabama. Never saw this coming. Matt, line in this game was 2 scores the other way, right?
Correct, yes.
Wow. I'm not the only one that never saw this coming.
It's not been one of those fluky things either where
they're beating the hell out of them.
Plays have happened, weird bounces or just busted coverages. Florida State's been the much better team. At least from what I've watched here in the second half, they've controlled the line of scrimmage. And Alabama's offense looks awful.
I give Florida State a lot of credit because, again, they went on 4th and short in their own territory. College football used to never be played like that. Now everybody does it. In the Alabama or in the Ohio State-Texas game today, there were 4 times where those teams, twice each, went for it on 4th and short. Some in plus, some in minus territory.
I've noticed a lot of coaches are going for it on 4th downs in
that's right.
Spots this year, a lot more than usual. It's really interesting to see because I feel like a lot of these offenses are really bogged down here early in the season.
They are bogged down, and I wonder if that's a result of knowing that your offense is bogged down and I'm just going to do it. Because my offense is bogged down and your offense is bogged down. That's another thing I want to point out about today, Matt, is that Tennessee looked pretty non-bogged down from the very beginning today. Quarterback looked comfortable. Receivers looked comfortable. Offensive line was in sync. And I'm going to say this again. Those guys weren't together. Like we were talking about in the preseason, those wide receivers weren't out there 3 times together. That's just remarkable.
That probably contributed to the early, drops and, not hitting guys in stride and things like that. And it's a good contrast. Even though Syracuse wound up doing pretty well offensively, they had, a bunch of those. I think they were delay games. They let them get away with a few times. They had, illegal formations, illegal shifts. They had 4 or 5 pre-snap deals where it just didn't look clean like Tennessee's was. So it's a good point that Tennessee was a lot cleaner with, 2 quarterbacks, in a game that weren't even in spring. Tennessee had a much cleaner and crisp offense.
And it's really not close. Tennessee looked, I'm going to say they looked seasonish, if that even is a term, but they look pretty damn good for an opener. And Alabama's on the ropes now, 31-17, 7 minutes and change in that game in Tallahassee. Major upset brewing. 2-score winner defeating somebody. Florida State coming off, a 2-win year last year? And went back to the portal this year. This is not supposed to happen, what's occurred here. Dos Equis Lager Especial, that is supposed to happen. I want to encourage you to go for Dos, ladies and gentlemen, because a Golden Pilsner-style beer made from the choice of hops, balanced composition, smooth, clean finish, party guest who's always invited, never overstays his welcome. And you're going to get a nuanced blend of malts and earth tones. Flavorful, yet light tasting and smooth, balanced composition, clean finish. And if you want to dress it up, rub the bottleneck, can or glass with get a little lime on there, dip it in some salt to taste, and you'll come back again and again. Dos Equis, ladies and gentlemen, go for Dos. 2025 survey says Mexicanas. As we go back to the phones, And we'll get our next call in. If you want to jump in, 865-200-5402. Programming note for you, we will be on live Monday. Bino will be with me. We will be breaking it down scientifically in your 11 o'clock Eastern hour. We will have a blog as well with some thoughts from the game and get you ready for the brawl for it all with East Tennessee State next week in Neyland Stadium. Matt, is that a noon kick or am I imagining? When's the kick next week? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head. That's
Okay.
a Brian Hartman or C question.
Very good. Back to the phones we go as those guys catch strays. And we go back to our TLD Logistics hotline. So much more than a trucking company. Everything, whatever your challenges are relating to shipping, you call TLD. They figure it out. Tremendous brokerage division as well. Hello and welcome in. They're online at tldlogistics.com. It's Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction, and you're on the air.
I'm talking to a man that never catches strays, Tony B.
There you go.
The CK Bogey for you.
Hey, Bogota. Not in Columbia.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great win. And I got to tell you, watching, I'm not a Florida State fan by any means. I don't have any ill will against Florida State. I mean, we beat them for the national championship.
Yep.
But I am loving what they're doing to Alabama. It is. I find myself cheering away at this game. I'm cheering Florida State on.
I just, this whole thing about, look, the SEC is always going to be the best college football conference. We pay the most money. But, you know, cheering for us to destroy people in our league globally to me is like rooting for, like, I don't know, Big Pharma, maybe. No offense to Big Pharma. Some of you make your living in Big Pharma. No offense. Cheering for Wall Street, cheering for Walmart against the little guy. You know, let the other dog eat every once in a while. Florida State beating them in this manner, I'm going to tell you something. This coach there is going to feel the heat, my friends. He's going to feel the heat after this one if this thing doesn't turn around.
He may be on suicide watch. Who knows?
They're going to be all over him.
So a couple things I just wanted to mention about the game, of the Tennessee game, of course, today. I wanted to talk about the receivers, but there was one point where that freshman running back got in for a series. Yes, he had 2 runs, and basically it was 3rd down and 6 or 7 after, and it was 3 and out. And I thought it was kind of a bad time to put him in there. I mean, it was. I don't want to say Syracuse had the momentum or got momentum, but it was kind of a quick series. What do you think is the mentality behind Heupel doing that when you have 3 really good running backs already that have been playing?
Matt, care to speculate? Was the thought this game is over, and that's why we're doing that? Matt, going with the kid there?
Probably, and at least get them some, like, competitive reps where it's kind of still a real game. I'm not a huge fan of that. I thought they kind of punted on that series by doing that, and went 3 and out. I think they do it on defense. I think they sub way too much, and they just rotate guys a little too much for my liking. But I mean, if you look at it big picture wise, and you're playing a 12, hopefully 13, 14, 15 game season, you've got to develop some depth and kind of rest guys. But I just feel like on defense, especially given all the breaks that you have throughout the game with these long timeouts, I think we sub a little too much.
Yeah. Okay. The receiving core was pretty good. I thought Kitzelman didn't get much action. I wonder what was up with that. He had a one-handed catch at one point, I thought, there in the first half. But I thought they were going to use him. You might have already addressed that about the tight ends, but it didn't seem like that was a priority today. They were looking wide receiver mostly.
Yeah, there wasn't, Kitzelman. I'm looking here. Kitzelman caught 2 balls in the game. He's only targeted 3 times. The other tight end is targeted once. There just wasn't. Those guys just, for whatever reason, they were blocking today and didn't figure in the that was not a targeting. No, I agree, Matt. Matt's talking about the call on Alabama Williams. That's not a targeting.
It looked bad, but I don't even think he hit his own guy.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I don't know how Williams is hurt.
Yeah. But anyway, to your point, the tight ends will figure a lot more into their passing game when these games get real. I do believe.
Yeah,
Not that Syracuse isn't a real game, but they're not a real SEC game. I know that. We all know that.
Oh, yeah. No, listen, this game was over first quarter. I agree with who said it? Somebody there on your panel said it earlier. I mean, first quarter, this game was over. And you could tell Tennessee was outmatched them for sure.
Yep.
I am concerned. You said that the injuries. Who was that 94? He came in for, was it Moy or who got hurt?
You talking about Robinson? You talking about Robinson when Robinson came in?
Yeah, he's a big kid, white
kid.
Yeah,
yes.
Lineman. I think he's number 94.
Yeah,
I have never heard of that guy. Is he sophomore? Or what is he? Does anybody know?
Matt, unpack Robinson for me.
Looks like he's good.
He's got really good size, and anybody who's in the rotation for a Ronnie Garner defensive line can play. I don't know much more about him. Maybe Cinco's probably knows more about him from the recruiting aspect of it. But this was the first time he's really played. But he held his own. I thought he actually looked pretty good. He's got really, really long arms and really good length to maybe bat down some passes.
He got in there for a sack.
Well, I mean, the bottom line is that, we've got so many guys. We rotate,
I believe this
12
is his third year on campus.
That's great, Sean.
He came in with the Trevor Duncan class. He came in and had to put on a lot of weight, but it was obvious that he was going to be a defensive tackle. He was more of an end in high school. He put on a lot of weight, but his problem has been that he's been injured ever since he's been here. I don't think he's been through a full spring or a full fall without being injured. And quite frankly, I was highly surprised at his productivity today. I thought he looked like a legit SEC defensive lineman.
It just goes to show you that those guys develop their players, Sean. They just do.
Yep.
He grows them, man.
Yep.
Miracle Grow. Rodney's got Miracle Grow.
Well, and look at Hurd. Hurd, I think, is finally healthy coming into a season, and he looked pretty good today.
Sure did.
So, there's a lot of positive you can take away. I tell you, the game in 2 weeks when Georgia comes into town is, I think, going to be something else. I'm so excited about this Friday with Al Wilson there at Calhoun's. It's looking up. I feel good, man.
We're going to have a great time,
Thanks
man.
for the show.
Thank you, brother. Yeah. As it's Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. We're now in our fourth hour of broadcasting with you. Ty Simpson gallantly keeps the ball. Did he get to the marker there? We're going to find out.
No, he's
awful close. I think he's short, but awful close.
4 yards short. Hell of an effort, but he's short.
And is that a turnover on downs?
Yeah, that was fourth down.
Okay.
He actually made a really good play on third down to throw a catchable ball, but it was a tough catch, but he's short.
He, in a lot of ways,
they overturned that targeting as well.
In a lot of ways, he hasn't been the problem today. They're getting crumpled up at the line of scrimmage. I mean, he's running for his life. It's weird.
Yeah, he looks like a deer in headlights every time they go up close to him.
Yes.
The game is just way too fast. He doesn't trust his line.
I don't blame him.
Nothing will top them getting beat by Vandy last year in terms of like a stunning game.
Yep.
But I'm totally stunned by this.
It's a stun.
I didn't think it was hard to envision the way Florida State won, much less kind of dominated and controlled the game.
Sean Sinclair, I would like your thoughts on what we saw, and then Eric Waddell, I would like your thoughts on what we saw today as we enter hour number 4. Go ahead, Sean.
Well, I'm not sure how good we are, but I was awfully impressed. I say that because, again, with Joey Aguilar, I don't know how good he's going to be. I saw a lot of moments where I thought, man, we can work with that. You can win with that. And then I saw some things I was like, that's who Tony's told us he is. But if you're going to take a first game, he comes in during the summer. There was a thought that he wouldn't be here till August, but he comes in a little early. Did a lot of stuff online, has a totally retooled offensive line, backfield, and wide receivers, and even gets further jumbled up before the game with David Sanders. I don't know how you could ask for Joey Aguilar having a better game in his first game with Tennessee. This is the brightest light he's ever been in. He has a blue blood behind him, And aside from a couple of high throws, which he's prone to do, I thought he comported himself like a veteran. And if this is his floor, he's not Manning or anything, but boy, I'll tell you what, I think you can have a productive offense. The home run ball to Staley was very nice. I thought he made great decisions. Obviously, the one mesh play that he fumbled, that wasn't great. But I thought overall, and again, it's easy to pick on Nico, but it looked like in this offense, if nothing else, Joey Aguilar looked like a more natural fit for Heupel and what he wants to do. The defense surprised me. I said in our chat group before I don't know. I keep hearing how good of athletes William Inge recruits, and yet I didn't think you could play worse linebacker than what I saw last year, and sure enough, we did. The linebacker play is atrocious, and I don't know how you get better. They, again, not being a wet blanket, they have no concept of what to do in pass coverage.
They get lost in space.
They overrun.
Yep.
They overrun every play.
Yep.
Arian Carter, the next run fit he gets correctly will be the first one he's had in 3 years. Aside from them blitzing, I just don't know what they do. They've taken Spillman, and he looks unathletic out there. I'm not sure what's going on, but the only vulnerability we really had all game was the middle of the field over the second layer of the linebackers, just because they couldn't get any depth or width. Really impressed with the cornerbacks. I thought the safeties are average, but boy, I really got to give it to the offensive line. I thought for what they were up against, for all the new guys in there, I've been a critic of Ellerby, but I thought they played well in their first game, and I think Mac Matthews has to step it up. If you're going to demand that kind of NIL, you got to be a number one receiver. But given that, I thought Kelsey Pope's group had a great game. And so overall, a lot of things to pick on, a lot of things to improve. But I was very much impressed with this game.
That was, and Sean, it's well put, right? Like, and by the way, 865-200-5402. All lines are wide open. As now we hit a spot here, we give you an opportunity to jump in with us at 865-200-5402. And if folks don't, then we'll just end the show. But the one thing that you talk about that I keep coming back to is I just never dreamed that they, in 100 days, could get all that together in that form and fashion. I mean, that is just really impressive coaching, man. Really impressive coaching, Sean. Really, and really impressive of Aguilar, who obviously took the summer very seriously to play to that level that quickly.
I agree. I think the thing that really impressed me was, again, the fumble is going to happen in the first game.
Sure, it is.
The high snap's going to happen.
Sure.
I mean, it's going to happen with, a guy that thought he was going to play guard until a couple of days ago.
Yep.
But the way Aguilar seemed to have an internal clock, the way he was able to get out of trouble pretty easily,
yep.
And more importantly, the way he was ready to get rid of the ball. You don't have to make up a touchdown every play, but you need to at least make it so that you can get to the next snap without giving the ball away. And given his, again, I mean, the light was so much brighter than he's ever been in. The weight of the state, the weight of the brand. I don't know if he's even going to be as good as the Cook guy last year from Missouri. A very similar type comparison, I think.
Yeah.
But you can win with this guy. I really think you can win. And the other thing I saw, Tony, and I think you've said it the whole summer, is there's no question that his teammates believe in him. That was obvious to me.
The people I talked to told me that people respond to this kid. And completely, look, I'm not bagging on Nico, okay? Completely different personality. Completely different personality. Completely different.
He just flipped the camera off.
And you saw it out there. Let's go back to the phones. Bama fan, he'll look good on television later, Matt. They're number one now. They're number one in Tuscaloosa, Matt. He just
Number
told,
one.
told you in his own little way.
Even Birdie still looks better than that guy in the overalls earlier.
Let's, without further ado, Eric Waddell, your thoughts on what we witnessed today, and then we go back to the phones. As Eric Waddell, Sean Sinclair, Matt Dixon, my name's Tony Basilio, and we're in the hour 4. Go ahead, Ewad.
You know, the biggest thought that I had, and it's the one that keeps overriding over and over in my brain, is I feel like I just saw Tennessee get their offense back that I haven't seen since Hendon Hooker walked off this campus.
Amen.
That, I mean, everything else was details to me today. But it looked like our Tennessee offense that we fell in love with Hendon Hooker and, you know, when Coach first got here to campus. And I felt like I was watching that. Not every minute of the day, you know, of the game, and so on and so forth. But the pacing, you know, and I think the execution will get better. But the execution was pretty good for an opener.
Yep.
With again a guy that's been here 100 days. But yeah, no, that's the biggest thing to me. You know, I will say I think Syracuse was a little bit better than we thought they were going to be. But in the end, we beat an okay football team. So I'm not, you know, I'm not putting a whole lot of thought into what the win actually means, big picture, other than the fact that I felt like we got our team back that has been missing for a few years now. And
it was fun.
Again,
it was fun to
the
go
rest
fast.
Is details.
You know, it was fun to go fast, and the thing that they didn't do, Sean and E, that kind of gets me as 4 hours into this thing, they must have really believed in this Aguilar guy, Sean, because they let him have the ball and they let him go from the very beginning. They did not let him grow into that game. They came out.
That's a good point.
And the first ball is to Staley, and it's 13 yards in the middle of the field. And then all of a sudden, they're up around midfield. I mean, they don't go to a tight end till their either fourth or fifth play from scrimmage, if you want to count a penalty, because I don't know what they were going to do on that. But I would have thought they would have leaned on the tight ends in the running game early, and that's not what they did. That is not what they did. And they went fast too, Sean, which leads me to believe that they must trust this kid to go that fast.
Well, I think that's an astute point. You know, when they first got here and throughout, they've always said, both Halsey and Heupel said, we want our guys just to get back there and rip it.
Yep.
And whether that's lip service or not, that's what they've said and that's what they advertise. The past 2 years, you couldn't find a pass inside the hash from Milton or Nico because they just didn't trust those guys.
No,
they didn't trust the guys to throw it over the middle. Occasionally they would on a deep post, but they wouldn't do anything like that. With Joe Milton, they would barely run a screen, hardly any crosses because they were afraid of the velocity, would get tipped. And here they are, we're attacking pretty much the whole field with Joey. I don't know. He seems to have a plus arm. I don't think he has a rocket, but he seems to have a good arm.
Yeah.
I tend to believe those high throws can be worked on. I think there was probably a little bit of performance anxiety there, wanting to impress, wanting to show that he deserved to be there. But nonetheless, they were on target, but high. I think Mike Matthews could have helped him out a time or two. I think Brazil flat out dropped a ball that just hit him right in the numbers. That was his stats would have looked a lot better. But I totally agree with you in the fact that I don't know what App State runs. UCLA certainly didn't run it, but he looked extremely comfortable in tempo. And the key thing there was I noticed is if you remember the past 2 years, our quarterbacks would come up on tempo, but they'd back out, and the coaches would have to give both Nico and Joe a secondary option based on the defensive look. Not one time did I watch Aguilar step back, the offensive line go to a knee or go into a relaxed position, and he had to be helped out. What you said was exactly right. In 100 days, this guy got the keys to the offense, and given his level of ability, was able to maneuver around in it, I think, pretty efficiently.
And Eric, that's a great point. I mean, the fact not only they going fast, but I was telling Matt earlier. I mean, it was kind of driving me crazy I guess late in the third, early in the fourth when they were doing that. Or I guess it was fourth quarter when they were doing that thing where they were snapping the ball with 31 seconds left. And I'm like, man, we're back to complaining about how we're going too fast. Last year they were salting the clock. When Nico was the quarterback, they were snapping the ball with a couple seconds to go on the clock. Now they're back to going too fast for. To me, they're going too fast today when you're snapping a ball with 31 seconds left when you're up multiple scores. But that's me. Any other thoughts, Eve, before we go back to the phones?
NFL guys, so yes, I know your feeling.
I'm going to run the clock down. That's right. I'm going to shorten that game. I'm winning. I'm going to get out of here with a win. Kind of like Alabama, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to go down defeat 31-17, and they got rolled like a joint cigarette today. They got the hell beat out of them. That Williams kid got hammered just now. Ty Simpson got the hell beat out of him, and it is going to be a nasty, nasty week down in Tuscaloosa or Alabama.
The question is, will they storm the field and take the goalposts down? Because that's happened. I think it's like 15 years since Bama's lost a game, a regular season game, where the opponents didn't tear the goalpost. Yeah, here they come.
Here it comes. Sooner or later, though, they keep losing. They're not going to be goalpost worthy. I'm not sure they are right now, to be honest with you. We got pushing at midfield. We got pushing and shoving at midfield. Something just happened. A cop just jumped in. What in the world was that? Did you see that, Matt?
Yeah, they're trying to get DeBoer off the field.
I love it.
There's probably some Bama fans there that hope somebody takes him out.
Let's go back to our phones. A cop just shoved like three looked like students. Yeah. That was next level looking. Hello and welcome in to our next call. You're on Garza Law, fifth quarter family
players
action.
like punching girls.
Well, that's a good point, too. Hey, welcome in.
Hey, man, nobody follows a legend, bro.
That's right.
There's moving vans and burning mattresses alive in T-Town tonight, baby.
You got that right, brother.
Ain't nobody follows a legend. It's never been done. Ask Bobby Bowden. Ask Tom Osborne. It's never been done. This dude is not going to get it done there. And this was a big day for Tennessee football. It's weird how this whole entire preseason, the script got flipped today. The offense looked better than the defense, and nobody in this town or in this country thought that was going to be the case. We have an excellent head football coach, bro. He got this cat ready in 100 days.
I think that's right.
It really did look like the 22 offense, man. It really did. The way that we would answer scores with big plays was just like Hendon Hooker and all those guys, man. And to be honest with you, Tony, this Alabama loss is bigger than the Tennessee win today because that game looks extremely, extremely winnable now. And let's be honest, I heard some people bragging on Oklahoma today. They're not coming into Neyland Stadium and getting a win. We haven't lost there in 3 years except for to Georgia. We don't lose at home. So basically you got 3 games, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. If you get one of the 3, you're in the playoff. And one of those 3 looks extremely more winnable than it did at the beginning of the day.
All right, around the room, guys, is the Alabama game now in play? Matt Dixon, I'm going to ask you one more time.
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to, put it down as a loss, obviously. Yeah.
They got beat by a team that won 2 ball games last year, bro.
It's silly to talk about it after 1 week, whether Tennessee's going to win. I mean, who knows what's going to happen until then, But you have to admit that it looks much more winnable than it did at the beginning of the day.
Does it look much more winnable, Matt, to you?
Based on today, yes. And I just saw the stat. This is the 4th loss that Kalen DeBoer's had at Bama where they were 14-point favorites or more. Nick Saban only had 3 of those losses. So
nobody follows the legend. I love you guys.
Thank you, brother. Go ahead, Matt.
The only loss DeBoer had at Bama where his team wasn't a huge favorite in was the game in Knoxville last year where they were just a slight favorite. Because, Vandy, they were like 28-point favorites. That Michigan Bowl game, which really shouldn't even count. I mean, this is crazy.
You want to lose your job? Keep losing games like that, you'll lose your job. That's the truth. Because those are bad losses. You're a two-score favorite in a football game. You shouldn't be losing that game.
You shouldn't get dominated and look
get
as
run
helpless
over
as you did.
Yep.
I mean, it's not just about losing. I mean, they looked awful offensively.
No doubt about it. Shout out to Josh Collins and my Collins Insurance Agency. Shout out to Erie Insurance, Collins Insurance Agency. He gonna help you. Ask about guaranteed replacement coverage from Erie Insurance. No limits to rebuild your home following a total loss at today's cost. That's right, no limits. Learn more from Josh Collins and your Collins Insurance Agency, collinsinsuranceTN.com. We're going to go back to our phones. It's Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. My name's Tony Basilio. Eric Waddell's with us, along with Matt TGMD Dixon. We're getting ready to watch Clemson take on LSU. Hasn't exactly been a day where the Southeastern Conference is adorned in glory here, Ewad.
No. We held up our end of the bargain.
That's exactly right. All I can control is my side of the street, and my Tennessee Volunteers reign supreme. How about the Bammers? Can they say the same? Let's go back to our phones. Hello. Let's get our next call in. Hello and welcome. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. Nathan, Chattanooga. How are you?
Hey, Nathan. Good to talk to you, man.
Likewise. Yeah, so did anybody catch that kid from Alabama they put on the TV there and gave everybody the single finger salute there?
That was fantastic. I love that.
Flip the bird.
I love that.
That was awesome.
Hey, they put that camera in that kid's face, and he wasn't having any of that, was he?
That was awesome. That was great. That cameraman didn't know either. He's got totally caught off guard. That was awesome.
Pretty great.
Yeah, but yes. But does anybody know a good Alabama call-in show we can listen to?
I don't. Matt, do you know where to find a call-in show down there, post-game show?
I do not, but I'll check Roll Tide Willie's Instagram here in a little bit.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna check some of that out at least for a few minutes to get a good laugh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have already said it, but I was thinking after I was watching this is that how does a kid that comes in here with 100 days look like he feels that he has this offense as much or more in command than a kid that was here for 2 years?
Well, it's this is a mystery with Heupel now, and I hate to say this, but. And I hope this is a narrative at the end of the year because this means Tennessee's had a good year. But again, the only guy so far that's really run his offense fast the way he wanted it to run is a guy that he inherited and tried to recruit over.
Yeah.
See, Nathan, that's the interesting thing about this. And this Aguilar guy is, if you didn't get him off the scrap heap, what do you guys want to call it? I mean, you grabbed him literally off the top of somebody's trash can outside is what you did.
Yeah.
Like he was the recliner, the lazy boy that's in it's in a college kid's dorm room because somebody was throwing it out up in Fort Sanders. And so what are we to make of this? Because he looked so comfortable in that offense today. That was such an excellent coaching job getting him ready. And he obviously took this very seriously in the summer, this opportunity. I mean, I appreciate that so much, how well that kid played today.
Oh, me too. But, and I don't know if it's a talent evaluation thing.
It's weird.
It's
weird.
I mean, But one thing I said to my wife a little bit ago, and this is not necessarily talent evaluation, but I think if there's anything he should learn from this is that you do not hang your hat on, hitch your wagon to the most critical player in your program to someone that obviously never really wanted to be at the university. That was, obviously became very quickly about the biggest NIL deal to that point and his father being overbearing. that probably wanted to be playing at Oregon or USC. Like, you can't allow your thoughts of how well you're going to coach somebody up or whatever. That person has to want to be there. I don't know if he ever wanted to be there.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know, man. Lessons with the Nico thing. That's a good one.
Yeah.
My lesson would be that hopefully the next time I'm Heupel and I learn that my quarterback, not other positions, but my quarterback is shopping himself around to member schools in my league, I'm telling him goodbye. I don't care how good you are. Yes, quickly.
Yeah.
I'm calling you in, and I'm saying, listen, man, here's the deal. I don't know who you think you are, and I don't know who you think I am, but I'm not a damn fool, and you are going to get your coat and your lei, and you're going to get the hell out my way. And we're not going to do this. And I hope. But the other thing that I think about Heupel that I think's really interesting is that I hope this Aguilar guy proves that you don't need some high-end guy to go out and win. If you know what I mean, Nathan. I don't.
You need a trigger. You need a trigger guy, and somebody thinks fast and can make quick decisions and put the ball where it needs to be.
That's all. Which is a lot easier said than done, by the way. Obviously,
you don't have to have a cannon for an arm,
right?
You need a trigger guy that's got good instincts.
Because, like Eric Waddell just said, and he's right, Tennessee's offense was back today. Did any of us think that was going to happen? Did you think that was going to happen?
No.
No,
I expected it to look very, gummed up, kind of off. He just hadn't been there. I didn't expect him to come out and run that offense like that.
That was miraculous.
And I don't know how good he's going to be, but I didn't expect that.
No. And here's the thing. People are like, well, they're going to get Georgia now. And, hey, I hope we get Georgia. But I'm going to stay in the moment here and enjoy the fact that was a great opener. And it went a lot better than I thought it was going to go. And that's enough for me right now. And we'll cross that Georgia bridge when we come to it. And I'm with Matt. We better get some people healthy on defense between now and then.
Yeah. Well, one thing, and I don't know how much of a test that, these guys were that we played today, but they were at least a Division I football team. But Georgia's not going to play anybody until they lace it up with us.
Oh, no. That's exactly right.
If that matters.
No. It never seems to matter with them. But hopefully catching them early in the season will be a little better than it's been the last couple years.
Let's hope so. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you, Nathan. Good talking to you. Do you guys have anything you want to add to that, Matt? Because it's interesting that, obviously they didn't eval this guy. They just kind of got him and took him. And, God, he was comfortable, fellas. He was so comfortable out there.
Yeah, I thought, whatever the coaching staff did to prepare him for today was exceptional because it didn't look like, he had just gotten here and wasn't even in spring. So they did a really good job with that. It's fascinating that because, he's basically like Hendon Hooker because Heupel didn't really pick him.
Right.
He just kind of had to take a guy, and it was basically him or Angeli today were kind of the only two guys available. So he didn't really hand pick him, but the two guys that he kind of inherited, so to speak, have been the ones that have been able to run his offense better than, Milton and Nico that he kind of handpicked. And those two guys are obviously way more talented. And it, looks like Joe Milton might even have a better NFL career than Hendon Hooker. Who knows? But it's a fascinating thing that I would love to get Heupel to answer that, to how it's so difficult to evaluate quarterbacks and the ones that he picks don't actually fit what he wants to do. That's really a crazy thing to
5 years in.
Mind around. It'd be a good thing to ask Watson Brown about.
5 years.
Because even great quarterback developers and quarterback coaches choose the wrong quarterbacks at times or, recruit the wrong guys. It happens so much.
So much.
One of those really weird things that
Hey, Matt, Watson
way too often.
Watson texted me 4 series into today's game, and he said, this guy right here is a much better fit than the last guy in this offense. Not even close. We're like 4 series in. So, Josh Carter says
the RPO stuff was so much. They ran a lot more RPO today than I think they ever did with Nico. And it was effective.
Josh Carter says in a super chat, SEC is wide-ass open, boys. NIL has changed college football for the better. This season is going to be nuts. Parity reigns in the SEC. And, Josh, I'll further that. Wait till we go to 9 league games and these teams start beating on each other. Really beating on each other. You're right. Let's go back to the phones. It is really, really interesting that a guy they've inherited, scrap heap guy. I mean, Ewad, this would be the equivalent of taking a guy in Major League Baseball like this kid that the Red Sox just cut, Walker Buehler.
Off waivers.
And then getting him past waivers, and he joins your team, and he's one of your really good pitchers. He becomes a starting pitcher for you in the postseason. That's what we saw today. It's really – I'm not saying this guy's going to be all that in a bag of chips, but just to have him do that and look a lot more comfortable than Nico ever did, maybe outside of that bowl game, is really an amazing thing. And it doesn't make any sense, Ewad.
Absolutely.
It doesn't make any sense, does it?
Not logically, but, I'm not gonna lie. I was really concerned whether this could work or not.
Yep, me too.
And you know what? I'm. That's why I'm in such a good mood today. I'm just,
it's fun.
I kind of was. I was really worried.
Yep.
That we might be going through this season in just a painful slog.
Yep.
And now I'm like, I've got a little more hep in my step or whatever, because we have some hope.
Another thing that's interesting, too, that I think is going to play into this kid's season is that was very public the way he got fired at UCLA. Nico. I mean, this kid, for Nico. Pretty humiliating, really. That's humiliating. Everybody knows that they took a guy from Tennessee and they gave him your job. And now you're going to go crawling over to where he used to be. Guys, I hope Nico looks like as Akeem tonight. I hope he sucks tonight. No offense to him. That would be so great. No offense. Back to the phones we go.
I think that the Utah team is going to come in tonight's game with a lot to prove.
Oh, my God. And I hope Nico looks like Oz tonight. AZZ. Hello and welcome into our next call. On your TLD Logistics phone lines, it's Garza Law, 5th quarter fan reaction. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Tony, I couldn't agree with you more, man. This is DR Vol. I think Nico and his family need to be humbled. Like, yes. Nico's dad needs Ozempic. Like it needs to happen tonight.
God.
It's true. I want them to suck tonight. Tennessee winning today, Alabama losing today, and Nico sucking. It'll be a perfect Saturday, Tony.
No question. And that poor Manning kid's Heisman Trophy campaign derailed in week 1.
Well, and that's a good point. Chalk that up to a good Saturday. When they shove players like him down our throats,
yes.
It's beautiful. Kind of like Ryan Williams last year. He was 17. They talked about last year how good he was. And I said it today. Ryan Williams turned 18. He started dropping his balls. He sucked today. It was beautiful, Tony.
Dixon, do you find that to be a good line? They turned 18 and is now dropping balls.
It's an outstanding line. Outstanding. Good job, DR.
That's really
As
Thank you.
That's ridiculous.
I appreciate it. But Tony, I had to get in here. I mean, y'all talked about the game for several hours. I had to get a part of the show and then honestly enjoy the Alabama Crisis Hotline. So fire DeBoer. Who are they going to get? You think Butch Jones is up for that job?
No, he's too busy worried about Travis Kelce's wedding and some conversation he had with him. And, You talk about the worst, man. That Butch Jones guy.
Did you see where he claimed that Travis Kelce called him before he did that?
And he was trying to tell him about it. He was trying to tell him.
Spare me.
He just never got there, but he was trying to tell me. We talked for several minutes. Butch loves milking those NFL guys, Eric. He always has, hadn't he? Going back to the Cincinnati days. Loves.
Yeah. You remember the chart that he worked out with Marvin Lewis.
Marvin Lewis in the chart. There you go.
So,
well, you remember when he was the coach here, he brought in Eric Spoelstra, and he made that connection with LeBron James.
That's right. Eric Spoelstra and LeBron James. That's right.
Well, he was talking about that list, and I'll hang up with this. And Tony, you were on one of Butch Jones' list yourself, so shout out to you. You have a good weekend.
Thank
guys.
you, brother. Yeah, he told everybody stay away from that guy. He's called me an energy vampire, which I must say is I could use some energy right about now. Hello and welcome into our next call. This is easily the longest I've sat in the studio.
You evaluate quarterbacks about like he does too.
Since my back went out. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. Thanks for having me, man. Hey, and thanks for sitting out with your back pain tonight, man. I appreciate you hanging on for us tonight.
Thank you, brother. Yes, sir.
It's the first game of the season, man. And, one of the things I'd like to comment about, just a couple things maybe about the game today, but all the off-season talk has been about Heupel losing Nico, right? About how Tennessee fumbled the Nico deal, how we were going to have a quarterback that was subpar. Well, dude, this guy came out today and he played better than Nico did last year. If I'm not mistaken, this guy threw 3 touchdown passes today, and Nico only did that one time last year, and that was against Chattanooga. So I like how this guy fits into this offense, man. I think the way we started out the game, coming out getting 17 points in the first quarter, capitalizing, putting our foot on their throat, using the running game, setting up the play action pass. That was all positives, man. A couple things early on I think that was striking to me is just I felt like he was a little bit overhyped. He was throwing the ball a little high. Our receivers missed a couple balls there in the first quarter. But overall, offense played great that first quarter. I was concerned seeing Moya go out, but the way Robinson played when he stepped in there, defensive line, that was positive to see. And then we got these young guys coming in and filling holes that we just weren't really sure who was going to fill those holes coming into the season. So that was great to see, man. But for me, when you talk about how Aguilar's fit into this system, it's a perfect fit for what Heupel looks for, right? If you think about the last couple of years, we really have built this team off of a transfer quarterback outside of Nico. It was Hooker, it was Milton. Now we got Aguilar. So these guys are coming in poised. They understand what Heupel's trying to do with this offense. They made some plays. Don't get me wrong. I think the biggest mistake that Aguilar made today was probably that handoff where he fumbled it there in the red zone. You really can't fumble it in the red zone like that. You got to have a little smarter play. But, I think one thing I thought that was really positive to see is what happened the very next play. Our defense came out. They picked that boy back up. That's what gives your quarterback confidence is when he makes a mistake, if your defense can come out and get them back into play. What they do, they scoop and score, got 6. So I think that was great to see. So a couple other comments before I get out of here. I think, Joey Aggs, he's got a nice deep ball, man. And when he hit Staley, that was like you said, play of the game. Maybe outside of that scoop and score, but that was the game the play that it really separated how we dictated the offense. Not trying to be critical. There's always ways you can be critical, but I think third quarter we definitely got a little bit slow in the offense. Big thing I'd love to hear from you guys is why in the world did we put our 4th running back in there in the third quarter in that series? Yeah. That didn't make any sense to me at all. It just kind of threw off the entire flow of that quarter. Where you back-to-back runs with a freshman.
Yeah, they gave it to him twice too. Anything. Yeah, it's one thing to put him in there. It's another thing to give it to him twice in a row, and it go nowhere. And then all of a sudden you look up in Syracuse, it's a 2-score game. It's a 12-point game.
Yeah, they kept hanging around, man. And I think one thing that's maybe something we've got to address is I felt like they kept finding a hole in that deep middle, maybe right behind that outside linebacker, right in front of that safety. They kept finding that spot right there on third down where they kept completing it. So we've got to shore that up going into not necessarily next week, but against Georgia and in the SEC. But as I get out of here, man, one thing I would say, just looking back on it, Aguilar, again, he threw 3 touchdowns today. Nico didn't do that but one time, and that was against Chattanooga last year. So I'll take this guy we got lined up.
Is that right? That stat you just
That's
gave
right,
me,
man.
is that really?
That's right, man. Nico did it one time. It was against Chattanooga last year. He only threw 3 touchdown passes.
Poor Nico.
And Aguilar did it today against Syracuse.
That guy's mid on dry ice, man. Thank you, brother. Good talking to you. Hey, Dixon, he brings up a good point. The thing about our defense that concerns me, which we can bear down on this going forward, our linebacking play is a little bit, like Sean said, electric football-y in space. They get lost a lot. And then the safety play today probably wasn't great.
Yeah, I think those are by far the 2 biggest weak spots on your defense. You can mask some of that with a really good pass rush. Or, I mean, you might as well just blitz the linebackers because they're not covering anybody.
That's what Sean said. Yeah.
No, those are concerns. I'm probably more concerned about the injuries, just the number of them.
Yeah.
At this point, but I mean, we're kind of glossing over it. But if we're going to give Aguilar credit and the offense credit for looking this good after just 100 days, our defense kind of got lit up by an offense that only had 100 days to get ready too. So, and that's a little concerning. Now they had some fluky things. They, I think they were gifted a couple of first downs with some questionable calls. They had to be aggressive and go for it on 4th down a few times and made some plays. But I mean, it's concerning that our defense gave up as much yards and points as they did. But the injuries are probably a big part of that. And I still think they probably played too many guys. They subbed too much, which I guess is a good problem to have. But I feel like you want to have guys that are going to be out there in key spots. And we seem, on both sides of the ball, we seem to be kind of robotic in our substitution patterns.
I have a couple more calls in me here on Garza Law, 5th Quarter Fan Reaction. Hello and welcome. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. It's Josh in Dallas.
Hey, Josh. Welcome in.
Hey, I know we're talking about Joey a lot, but I think the most impressive thing to me, I know obviously we didn't know what to expect from him, but the running game today, and I think Star Thomas was, I know y'all had talked about him a little bit before the season, but man, I thought he looked probably the best out of the 3 backs today.
I wasn't expecting that. I'm going to tell him myself, I was not expecting him to be anywhere near that type of player. That was pretty remarkable.
Because it was really nice to see him rotate each series, and then Star Thomas was kind of that electric guy where it was like, man, when he got the ball, I thought he was going to break it. But I know me and my brother were talking, with Bishop's run. It was like, man, I thought he was going to break it, but he was a little slow in the open field. But, we might have some power, and then with Star Thomas be that electric guy, that third electric guy. So.
Yeah, you're right. And the thing I like about those wide receivers, too, is that I like contrast. And all 3 of those guys brings a little something different to the table. I'm a contrast guy in my backs. I don't want those guys to look alike.
I thought they had a really good game, too, today. And that, the way that I didn't think Staley would do as good as what he did today, and the way that they can, I thought, Matthews had that good wide receiver screen also. But,
yeah,
man, we might have something clicking on offense this year. I mean, I know y'all touched base on the defense a little bit, and Arian Carter has to stay healthy, just for the tackling aspect of it. But against Georgia, that's where they always kill us every single year. It seems like it's just that middle of the field.
Middle.
So we've got to straighten that up before that next game. So, but I just wanted to call in and just say, that I thought, like I said, Star Thomas to me was the guy that stood out the most that I just really didn't know about. And so, I hope we go into the Georgia game and just clean some things up and, maybe give them a game this year, at least.
Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, that would be – I tell you, the thing about Georgia is they will exploit you middle. There's no question about that. And they've gotten us many times. The other thing that's going to be really interesting to see is how far Aguilar has truly come, because that's going to be a huge test for him. Speed's going to be up in that game. The windows are going to be smaller. The amount of time that you get to even think out there on the field when you play a team at this level like them, it just, you get a fraction of a second compared to today where you just get to relax. You know, Matt, that's going to be a real, and thank God for 2 more weeks because they're going to need it.
Yeah, he'll need all the help he can get in that game. That's going to be tough because, I mean, they shut down the Hendon Hooker offenses for the most part.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, they had the.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
They have the key. You know. That's all right, though. Hey, you play the game. Get big crowd. You know, what you did today is you give yourself a chance to walk into that thing unbeaten, decently ranked, getting a lot of buzz, getting a lot of build-up, and force that quarterback to perform on the road. Force their quarterback to perform on the road.
For the first time. Yeah.
Sure. And you never know. He can turn.
Their first real game, road game.
Yeah.
Usually Kirby's teams have kind of those road woes to start seasons early. I mean, they still usually almost always win the game, but it's not like they're a juggernaut at the beginning of the season. They're a lot of, like South Carolina, they tend to always get better throughout the season, which is a sign of a really well-coached team. But maybe we can catch them.
So,
and here's the thing, guys.
Yep.
We don't have to be better than Georgia 12 weeks in the year. We just need to be better than them one time.
It's a great point. And it goes with all these games. And when you have a quarterback that's got some balls to him, and he's kind of a gamer and a leader. A caller pointed this out earlier. You can win games with him. It was Will Heflin who was in here the first hour with me. He said a guy like that, you can win big games with him because he's gonna walk on the field not afraid. He's not. You know that guy's not gonna blink in the moment. Now he's gonna have bad games though. All these guys are gonna have bad games. This is the way it is. Let's go back to the phones. 865-200-5402. I got to get out of here soon because I got my MRI back from my back, and we had to really read it to look for good news because there wasn't much on it. But I think I'm going to be okay. Let's go back to our phones. Hello and welcome into our next call on your TLD Logistics phone lines. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. It's JoJo from Portland, Tennessee. How y'all doing?
Hey, JoJo in Portland. Welcome in.
Yes, sir. Hey, I just wanted to say, I think one of the most important acquisitions we've had in these past couple seasons, especially seeing how pedestrian the offense was Luttrell, getting him inside, getting that Gulf Coast going. I think it's kind of showing its face right now. And I'll jump off here real quick. I just wanted to point that out that I think you're going to see some interesting things, especially with the tight ends. But I hope you're feeling better, Tony. Hope you get some good news, man.
Thank you, brother. Good talking to you. Guys, your thoughts on that? Because it looks like Tennessee hit in the portal again after 1 week. Several hits here, Matt.
Yeah, you got contributors and guys that are going to help you. So I think John probably pointed it out. I think your offensive line is going to be better than it was last year. Definitely in pass protection. And I just think you're just going to be a better unit there. And they'll just block better, which opens a lot of things up. And even though the tight ends, didn't catch a lot of passes and aren't targeted a lot, they play a really valuable role in this offense, the way that they move them around and use them, especially in the run game. So that even if they're not getting stats, they're still very valuable and contribute a lot. So we don't need to lose sight of that either. But no, the transfers, you've hit on just about all of them, it seems like, because they all, Colton Hood probably was the best one today, but they all flashed a little bit.
Colton Hood made a couple really nice plays in space today, man. Getting back, getting his hands on balls, knocking balls down, coming up with that fumble and the score. And I want to see the defense score a couple times next week against East Tennessee State as well. I think it's important to establish an identity as a defense that you will score. If you're going to play high-level ball and you're going to get everything out of your roster, they need to – hopefully that's a trend that continues to score at your defense. Ewad and Matt, give me a final thought here on the way out. We've kind of gone with a skeleton crew here, and we're going to jump out after about 4 hours on you. Please forgive me, but I'm playing with a pretty bad back right now, and I'm starting to get into some pain here. Ewad, go.
I've kind of been a one-trick pony on this show that I've been on today, but I'm just going to say it again. I felt like we got our Tennessee offense back today. We look like we were doing things that we did really well a few years ago, and it looked like we were at least trying to match that standard. And that excites me because I think that makes us competitive the rest of the year if we can do that. And I understand the young man's not perfect, overthrew a few balls, so on and so forth, but I just incredibly encouraged. I just did not. I saw something tonight this afternoon that I didn't expect, and by God, it's got me wanting more. I was sad the game ended just simply because, and by the way, yes, it lasted atrociously long. But I mean, I was sad.
Almost never ended.
Yeah, no, I mean, just kind of
hey,
sad
Matt,
that,
I was really worried about.
I got to wait another week to see that again.
I was really worried, guys, about the South Carolina game tomorrow. Seriously, the way that third quarter was going, I was like, "Are we?" Another thing, if we keep this up, Matt, and teams keep laying on the ground for us, Danny White's going to come up with a scheme where he starts charging you by the hour to watch Tennessee football. So you better watch yourself in Neyland Stadium. But good stuff, E, and I echo that. It was fun to see the Vols back
Your comment
today.
about Danny, sad but true.
Oh,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you don't give him any ideas. I said yesterday if I was Danny White and looking at the crowd we had at Calhoun's yesterday, because it was huge, I would charge $50 a head next week. Al Wilson's going to be down there with us at Calhoun's with Bino and myself. We're going to have an incredible time. Matt, give me a final thought. And by the way, Matt, you saying the term choice routes, evoking Tillman earlier, was not on my Cinco card in week one. I did not think I'd see that on my Cinco card in week one, Matt.
Well, I mean, our whole passing game is choice routes. So,
but you evoking that they brought some wrinkles back.
The show yesterday about predicting the first 3 plays was kind of funny because it's a lot based on what the defense does. So even Heupel probably couldn't have predicted the first 3 plays.
There you go.
With the RPOs and the choice stuff, but the season opener is always a special day. And then Tennessee came out and performed really well. A lot more positives than negatives, but still plenty of things to work on. But you've got a little bit of hope. And there's a lot of fan bases, including the one in Tuscaloosa, that would love to still have the kind of innocence and hope that we do right now. So we can still dream big for a few weeks. And it's just always fun to have the best sport in the world back. And I hope we enjoy it. And we got a great game. We got the nightcap is the game I've been most wanting to watch besides Tennessee. So it's a great send-off, and hopefully John Adams' guys can get it done for the SEC, or else it's a really bad day for the league.
Adams catching strays. Hey, Matt, thanks. Glad you got a chance to get down there and see that. Hey, by the way, Matt, what was the percentage of fans in the place, like capacity of the place today? Was it 80% full, 75%? What would you say it was?
Maybe 2/3.
How are they making money, Matt?
Maybe.
Matt, how are they making money with that?
I don't know. I don't know if they make money. All the money comes from TV.
They're paying these schools a lot of money to show up, man.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you think that's bad, wait until tomorrow's game. I mean, I assume South Carolina, Virginia Tech's not going to have a better crowd than Tennessee did. I wouldn't think, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'm never a fan of neutral site games.
It's bad. Yeah. It's bad.
Right. Remember, though, South Carolina fans are a little like Cub fans.
Oh, they'll travel.
They keep showing up whether they get anything good out of it or not.
It's a good point.
It is the Beamer Bowl.
It is the Beamer Bowl.
It is the Beamer Bowl.
Yeah. All right, boys. Thank you. Great job to E. Great job, TGMD. I want to thank John Adams. I want to thank Cinco, who stopped by, and also the great Will Heflin. I want to thank Marcos Garza, my Garza Law Firm, online at garzalaw.com. T3 Vodka. T3 Vodka, ladies and gentlemen, premium vodka. Ask for it by name. Also, special shout out to my friends at Conexial. You will drive life with Conexial, online at konexial.com. Shout out to Calhoun's. They are, ladies and germs, your taste of Tennessee. We're there on Friday. TLD Logistics, providing our hotline all day today. And a special shout out to my friends at TLD Logistics. It was great seeing you all yesterday down on the river. Performance Medicine. I perform my best with Performance Medicine, online at performancemedicine.net. Also, special shout out Josh Collins, my Collins Insurance Agency, collinsinsuranceTN.net. Shout out to Alumni Hall. Ladies and gentlemen, when it's time to get game ready, you go to Alumni Hall, online at alumnihall.com. Dos Equis, ladies and germs. Dos Equis, you go for dose. You go for dose. Till we meet again, special thanks to my lovely bride, Laura, who helped out tremendously behind the scenes as well today and has been putting up with me through this ordeal. I love you. I appreciate you. Here's my final thought. A couple weeks ago, I didn't know I was going to be able to do this. I didn't know whether I was going to be able to do this or not. So, will you talk about really appreciating an opportunity? Joey Aguilar really appreciates this opportunity. You know, in a day and age where we kiss the asses of these multi-million-dollar college athletes now, you see a guy out there today, and you're going to watch him this year, who really appreciates the chance he's getting. He doesn't need anybody to kiss his rear end. And me, I really appreciate. Yesterday, my heart was so full of Calhoun's. And my heart is so full tonight. And just to be able to do this for 4 hours and sit here and take a little pain, but be able to get through it. And, I mean, hey, praise God. What an opportunity. Because what we do is extremely special. And, look, I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I get it. I know I don't always phrase things properly. Like I said today that David Sanders woke up and said he couldn't go today, and what I really meant was David Sanders, they woke up and he couldn't go today. Whether it's the training staff, him, whomever, whatever, but somebody texted me about that, so I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm trying over here, okay? I want to say that it was really terrific, the response we got over at YouTube today for Ben McKee. Laura and I are now going to have to match probably $250 in super chats, and we will gladly do that because I want Ben to get well, and we all do, and we want him to know that we love him, and what Jason Swain's done for him this week, and Jennifer Morris and his friends. Just lets me know I'm in the right place. It just lets me know I'm really in the right place. So, listen, I really, 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 really thank you for being with us. And I really appreciate you being there. And again, I take none of this for granted. I will not take the East Tennessee State game for granted next week. I will not take that week for granted. I'm getting mushy on you on here, but just a wonderful time to be alive. And I'm glad that you spent, no matter when you did it, whether you did it live, whether you did it in Memorex, whether you did it on tape delay, whenever you're doing it, I thank you for being there. We appreciate you. G to the B to the O. Monday, I'll be with Bino. And we love you. God bless and go Vols. And for those of you listening to the show, here we're going to run the program back. So for those of you in your car, maybe you're coming back out of Atlanta. I mean, 4 hours should be enough to get you home. That's why I wanted to do 4. But here's today's program in case you missed it.